Hey, welcome to the Porch Bois podcast. I am, of course, your devilishly handsome and very intelligent host, John, alongside my equally tarded and beardless co-hosts, Mijjt and Seawall. How you boys doing?
Good.
All right,
A little tired, but trucking along.
trucking
Yeah.
along indeed. Yes. So who do we have anybody in the chat yet? I forgot to switch that over. Yes, I see High Leaf has come with this
Well,
walking
also,
Swiss God.
High Leaf. How dare you abandon your old half track? Real men don't abandon their old half tracks to get new ones. You should feel ashamed of
I'm
yourself.
sure he traded it in.
You
Right.
don't
He
trade them
traded in
in.
abandoned.
You
Or
don't
maybe he
trade
kept it. Maybe
in.
he's got two
You
now.
don't trade in your half track. You go down with it in a burning heat like it
Maybe he's got
deserves.
two now.
You can modify your half track all you goddamn want, but you don't get a new one. How dare he?
Wow.
Holy fucking
Sounds like you're a piece of
shit.
shit, Highleaf. Sorry. I'm not the one who makes the rules.
That sounds
Seawall
autistic.
feels very strongly about this.
Yeah, that sounds pretty autistic.
Yeah.
So yes, it is a brand new year, boys. We have now done shows in 2 different years, but not for 2 years, but in 2 different years.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
We're gonna need about another year and some change to make it 2 years.
Yeah, I forget when we started. This is what episode 22. So 22 weeks ago would be the first one.
We
We
need
haven't
about a
missed one
year and a
yet.
half because there's 52 weeks in a year. We need a little over a year and a half.
No. How long have we been going though? For like 6 months.
A little less than
Or
that. Remember, there's
the
52
less.
weeks in a year, roughly.
Right.
Assuming 52 weeks in a year, we will be needing another 52 plus 30, another 82 shows to reach 2 years, using the 52-week mark.
Right. But we only need 30 to get to another to get to a year.
Yep, exactly.
So that's pretty sweet. 30 episodes. That's not bad. We're having fun still.
Yep.
Or else.
Or else
Anything
what?
exciting? Or else. You'll see.
I haven't seen it yet. It's been a while, and it's happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I always wonder like what would happen. You know how your mom counts down from like, oh,
Yeah.
1, 2, and like as soon as you go, let me get to
Well,
3, and you're like you fucking haul your little ass on to do whatever.
whatever.
Always wonder what happens if you don't. I don't know, probably nothing. Guess it depends on the mom.
Yeah, I'll bet it does. Bet you more
Yeah.
than it sure enough does.
Yes,
But
sir.
so yeah, I had some fun last night over on Steven's 24-hour stream.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we played some Jackbox on the air, talked some shit about history and like. Well, let's do that here. Actually, we played a fun little game, which was like what army beats another army like throughout history. We did like what was like the best army, and I came up with two, and so I was like, oh, they should just fight it out. But yeah, so if you gave like all technology, to one army, like which one's the best, like throughout history?
Wouldn't be the Roman legions. They've been defeated too many times. Too many times they were outsmarted.
Well, I mean, I picked that though. I picked
Yeah.
the Roman legion because if you gave them rifles, like with their amount of discipline and professionalism, I think that makes them like the best
But
military
how?
out there. Even
I
if
think
they got defeated,
it
of
would
course.
be
That's
an anachronism to them. They wouldn't know how to adapt it into
Exactly,
their
because the thing
fucking-
is, modern weaponry does not
yeah,
require
yeah.
regimented discipline. It requires professionalism and personal discipline, but
Right,
it also
which
requires very
do.
high level of creative thinking to properly employ. Because the thing is,
That's totally fair.
the armies have, in a sense, one man controlling a unit. It's shrunken down significantly. Yes, you still technically have, colonels leading, thousands of men into battle, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's the sergeants that have almost all the power.
Well, it always has been. It's always been that way, though.
Yeah, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
usually.
the sergeants can get away with a hell of a lot more nowadays than they could back in the day. and the
I mean,
armies
sure,
and the
but I'm like,
generals were much more directing the battles than they are now,
right.
where it's more just like saying, "Hey, can whereas the generals now saying, okay, I think we need to get a couple more drones in this sector and see if we can send another platoon over there," and that's about it.
The
They,
generals are nowadays. They're more politicians than they
oh
are
yeah,
like
yeah,
warriors.
yeah,
They're most of them aren't. Some of them obviously are, but most of them aren't even
and
in like
and
field of conflict. They're at
yeah,
the
but the
Pentagon
problem
or some
is,
shit.
modern weaponry, as Midget put it, it'd be an anachronism to the Roman legion because the Roman
Right. So no,
legions
no, no.
were
That's part of the game though. Was that like they get time to train with them with the weapons? Like they get like they're able to train and stuff. Like they know how to use them. We're assuming right for this hypothetical.
well, I mean, by
So
that
like
point, you're entering, modern professional army, which isn't too dissimilar than the Roman legions.
sure, yeah.
I mean, at that
That's what I'm
point, you're
saying.
just talking about, a properly running U.S. military.
Yeah, but we don't even have a proper running
Yeah,
U.S. military.
That's
So,
currently.
right.
Yeah, currently.
like, so no
That's
one's got that.
right.
So they would already be better then if they were actually a properly running U.S. military. That makes them better by default.
Are we always talking about the legions pre or post pre-imperial or post-imperial? Because there is a difference.
Yeah,
Oh
probably
my God, I'm
at
not
their
going to
height.
get into this
Yeah,
difference.
that's fine. No, no,
Yeah,
we can move on. But
yeah.
I do like
Moving on.
Headley's and the English longbowmen. They were the snipers of their day. I wouldn't say
Ah,
they were snipers, but like, yeah,
I
no, they
they were pretty
weren't.
badass. They weren't. They
Come
definitely
Well,
weren't
on,
snipers.
they
Jesus
were
They were
more
pretty
Christ.
the
badass.
light machine gunners of their day. It just it took a lot of
Yeah.
them to be effective. Because the thing is, you didn't have
Right.
a sniper is like one guy, taking
Yeah.
out important targets, whereas the English longbow they were used primarily in volley fire.
Hey, you guys know one
Yep.
army that's never been defeated in a land war? The IDF.
That is
They
true.
are they are fucking batting 1,000 in their land wars with inept Middle Eastern dictatorships.
I mean, three
That's
dudes in a
true.
bicycle could probably beat
And
most Middle
yeah,
Eastern
and little
militaries.
kids and little kids throwing rocks.
Right.
They're 100% in the field
Uh,
of war. The
right. Well,
IDF
that's why
is
you can't just use
undefeated.
statistics, right?
Yeah.
It
That's
needs to be context.
that's right. You can't go straight statistics or you get skewed results, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Need context behind it. So,
What about, dude, imagine like the Khan Empire, Mongolian Empire, except with like scout helicopters and light machine guns,
this
like
was
door
actually
gunners.
Steven's answer was the
Yeah,
Mongol horde.
a
Yeah, it
Mongol
would be
horde,
really good.
except modernized with like
Right.
mechanized
Oh
and
yeah, they
like
would be utilizing
Yeah.
instead of horses, ATVs,
yeah,
UTVs, light Hummers, things like that.
technical like Toyotas and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Technicals, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That would be really good. I don't think they would have a ton of like holding power though. They would be a horde. Like they would have to move
Personally, what I would
place to
try to
place.
modernize, and this isn't a land group, but motherfucker was brilliant. Admiral Yi and his
Yes.
men.
Yeah. He was.
Admiral Yi and his men. The thing is, what was it? It was even the English Admiralty respected the man. Obviously, he died
Imagine,
long before they ever met, but the English Admiralty at the height was like what was the only equal of Cromwell was Admiral Yi, and Admiral Yi may actually be better just because of the
Yeah.
shit Yi was able to pull.
Right.
yeah.
A lot of people do
Me
kind
and
of miss.
Steven, the great minds think alike because that's the obvious
Yeah.
answer. The Mongol
Yeah.
army,
Oh yeah, highly
uh,
adaptable,
like
highly
mechanized.
mobile, mechanized would be easy for them to pick up in comparison.
Maybe a fucking
Right.
terror, and throat singing would once again be heard across the plains.
It would be required, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, be
Uh,
legally required to communicate in through and throat singing.
Midget, when it comes to the Space Marines, are you a fan of the White Scars by chance?
Hey,
Hey, KDZ's in the chat too. Look up.
I'm gonna take that as a yes that you're a fan of the White Scars.
Oh,
Uh,
fucking nerd.
I mean, I'm really not all into the chapters, the tons of different chapters.
yeah.
You know, I'm like Henry Cavill, the Chad, who plays IG. I play
Uh,
Imperial Guard. He's an Imperial Guard player.
yeah.
So Heidi's
That's
asking
fucking
about Napoleon.
based.
I'm not sure that he would. I mean, you give him some like modern field artillery, and he'd be able to use it effectively.
But
But
the problem is
I don't
modern
know that.
infantry tactics. He was very big on the volley fire,
Well,
lines
he
and
was
lines
very
of
big.
men.
Yeah, well, not as much. He used a lot of skirmishers. He
True.
used a lot of skirmishing.
Yeah,
So
he
like
did,
small
didn't
groups
he?
moving around independently,
So he
which
probably
is
would be able
much
to
closer to our
adapt.
modern way of
Yeah, he
fighting.
would be able to
So
adapt then much more easily than the
right.
Roman legions, which were much more pro. They even though they had skirmishers, the Roman legions were heavy infantry.
No, I
Yes.
think after a
Well, there's
short
yeah, there's the
briefing
artillery.
period, I think after maybe a short briefing period of a couple months of like modern officer training, he would just
Yeah.
breeze through that shit
Oh
and
yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
straight.
Well, I believe Napoleon's
He was a
tactics are still
tactical,
taught.
Yes,
right?
that's
Some
what
of
I
He's
was
them,
saying. Yeah, is that
yeah,
he kind of invented the small squad.
it wasn't just
Uh,
about what he did, it's
yeah,
the way he did it, it's the
yeah,
way he thought and the reason he made the decisions he
yeah,
made. He was not
yeah.
fucking dull.
And look, I would
right.
say what also General von Moltke, the older one, the one that didn't disastrously do World War One.
I see.
But the problem is he's too close to modern, in my opinion, for us to be able to consider him.
Historical.
Yeah. Well, he's too close to modern weapons, modern tactics. He was
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Civil
that's why I
War
think
era
Napoleon would have a good
technology.
advantage. I think that's why
Yeah.
Napoleon would have a good advantage because it's just like the stuff has gotten better. It hasn't really changed
Right.
all that much. It's just gotten better.
He
So
was
I think
ahead
Yeah.
it'd
of his
be
time at the time, so
Oh yeah.
yeah,
he was ahead of his time at the time, like both in terms of like organization and as well as like John said, smaller degrees of control within the armed forces.
I think we got one of those
Rather,
spammers in the chat.
yeah. I
yeah.
took care of it.
Yeah, same here. We both took that down.
Mijjt Footpukt
Wow.
said,
Kinda.
get your fucking car warranty,
I'm glad
I'm a
extended.
prince of
this random
Somalia.
person cares so much about my car warranty. Yeah,
I'm a,
this
I'm, a, I'm,
random
a, I'm a
person. Yeah,
Nigerian prince, and I need your help to get my wealth out of the country.
right. I also happen to like your podcast with 39 subscribers. Fantastic.
So,
Yeah, wouldn't you know? I'm looking just for people like you.
Right.
well, I think we should move on to memes. You guys think memes?
I enjoy
This
memes.
shit is a meme. Pardon
Well,
me while I partake.
Great.
huh,
Smoking that tobacco, man. It's bad
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, but from what I understand, it like helps ward off the goof. By the way,
Yeah, it's true. Oh,
I
sorry,
don't
that
think
mouth
I
is really
ever
good.
actually had any kind of illness.
Oh yeah.
Although, like, I was throwing everything I could get at it. I mean, it's not like I went to the to Sneed's feed and
Right.
speed or anything. I didn't go to, you know, India Mart.com. I
Right.
mean, I did, but I didn't. I don't know how to work that shit.
Let me
I don't
guess. You
have.
you were downing Dayquil and Nyquil like a madman, and probably on the verge of
No,
ODing.
dude. N-acetylcysteine, quercetin, zinc, vitamin C and D, and melatonin.
Oh, nice melatonin to help you sleep, I presume.
Well, it also is effective. I forget how, as part of the protocol to, yeah, with melatonin, it really does seem to increase the activity of the immune system.
Hmm.
Also, it
Yeah,
promotes. Yeah,
naturally.
it also helps with sleep,
Right.
and
Well,
more
yeah.
sleep equals better recovery.
I think it actually
Right.
fucked up my sleep patterns though,
Oh, it
because
will.
like
Probably.
for a
Yeah, yeah.
couple of nights, man, I was stayed up until like 4 in the fucking morning, and I wasn't even tired. I was like,
How
fuck.
much melatonin were you taking?
10 milligrams a day, not much.
You should be.
It's
You
not like
should
I
cut
was
that in
fucking
half.
down in
You should
it.
actually cut that in half.
Oh, probably.
Everyone's a little bit different with melatonin. I'm a 10 milligrams guy, but I've also up to 20 milligrams before.
Oh, jeez.
And if you go too high
Holy
with
shit.
melatonin, it will have the opposite effect. Going too low just means it's
Probably.
ineffective. Going too high means it's
No, I
basically
figured I was probably fucking out of balance and
Yeah,
not producing my own after all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I
But,
just
yeah.
gave it a. But I mean, I don't feel
But
weird anymore. I mean, I can't imagine feeling slightly weird for 2 days and then being fine again. Being any kind of problem or illness. It's probably just a change in the weather or whatever. So
yeah. But
it could be.
Midget, I think I found an older picture of you and a current picture of you.
yeah. See, on the left, I was so bright and sunny and hopeful
Oh,
for the
dude,
future.
bushy tail. Look at that tail. Just so
Yeah.
bushy. Oh man,
Bright-eyed,
Yeah, could
bushy
you
tail.
imagine?
Yeah.
that's right.
There were years ahead of me of learning there was no political solution.
Joining groups making fun of them because it's funny.
Oh, it is funny. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we're just having a good time,
It's
guys.
funny as shit, dude. But then, I mean, like, yeah, you can't stop noticing. Once you notice,
Dude, it's
it's
actually
the red
kinda
pill.
true.
It's the red pill, man.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
kind of
true,
true though.
says John. Yeah, he can't help it, dude. He's
Sure, you do notice. I mean, you see last names and you're just like,
you just know,
And
man.
you don't even need to read the early life section anymore.
After a while, dude. And like I was saying last episode, I guess for New Year's Eve, like it's got a fucking. After a while, man, of honing your radar, you can zero in on
You're
that.
more accurate than a cruise missile system.
That's right, dude. And a hypersonic cruise missile system sold
Yep.
to China by Russia and then made in China badly.
Exactly, so it can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right.
Where they have a better chance. They have a better chance of hitting us by targeting themselves.
That's right, motherfuckers.
Yeah. So.
Incompetent fucks.
Yeah.
Yep, me 6 months. No, this is me like 5 years later. After, again, it takes a while to come around to finally accepting that, yes, indeed, it is the way it is. It be the way it.
you do.
It do be the way it
Be
is.
the way it, yeah, no, it do be the be the way
It
it
do
do.
be the way it is.
Yep, well, I'm moving on to the next meme before we get too bogged down in this. So, guys, do you feel safe?
I don't get it.
So
Why
safe.
is she alone? Why is there no one else around her?
Because she's safe. That's the only way she can be safe.
Yeah. Sitting alone in a car, wearing a mask,
In
the middle
the car.
in the middle of an empty parking lot.
That's right. It's an empty parking lot. Like, I don't get it. Why is the parking lot empty? Why is she not, like... Why is this in one place as opposed to several different places, her being like, safe, I'm safe.
Mm-hmm. Safe.
It gets the point across that they're unhinged.
Well, I
deranged.
mean, sure.
So, yeah, that one kind of felt
I'm
bad,
not
so
sure how I feel about this artist.
moving along.
He's hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
I like how it's taken us this long to articulate this
Right. It's
in a succinct and snarky meaning. Like, if shows are better now than they were in the past, they wouldn't need to remove or revive an old IP, change its core story or characters, and then air it on Netflix where it will die in 2 seasons.
Sometimes in one.
Says She-Ra,
Yeah.
who died in 2
She-Ra.
seasons.
I thought that one got more seasons.
I forget. I heard it wasn't actually that awful. That it kind of just did its thing and didn't really... I mean, it did its thing. It had, I guess, an audience, but, obviously
Well,
it's not terribly meaningful to anyone.
Yeah, so moving right along.
I mean, they can't sell fucking action figures for shit,
Well,
so...
yeah, they don't realize that the show isn't the moneymaker. These shows back in the day were meant to sell toys, and the toy
They
companies
were
are like...
toy advertisements, yeah.
And they were really good at it too.
Exactly.
That's right, they were. Everyone had a fucking He-Man, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
And
I bought all the
some
Pokemon
motherfuckers
games and
even
stuff.
had a lockjaw. Some people even have lockjaw.
Yeah.
And fucking, all the Star Wars fucking figures.
Oh my God, Star Wars especially. That's one of the biggest
Well,
merchandisers
what was
on
it? If I remember right,
the planet.
a lot of the new toys went very quickly on clearance,
GI
except for
Joe.
one property in The Mandalorian. That is the only set of toys that did
Then they're
extremely
going
well.
straight to
Yeah.
clearance.
I mean, of course, there's collectors who are going to collect
Yeah.
it even if they don't want it, but
Well, no. I
because
mean,
they have
The
to have all of it. But
Mandalorian
yeah, yeah,
was fairly popular among the younger
well,
demographics.
it's actually really good. It's
Yeah.
actually a legitimately
Yeah.
good show.
It,
Like it's
yeah.
actually
Well,
really.
also that fucking Baby Yoda thing is goddamn everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that is
everywhere.
definitely a merchandising opportunity.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the whole point of that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, so is everything else. Like that goes back to George Lucas's days. The original trilogy had the same
Yeah.
thing. The Ewoks were that. They were the merchandising opportunity.
They were the merchandising thing. I
Same with
mean, I'm
Yoda.
not gonna get into the Ewoks right now, bro.
Yeah.
Are you woke on the Ewoks question?
No. Ewok is woke anagram.
It is. Yeah, that's true. He was trying to
Oh my
warn us.
God,
We just didn't listen.
he was trying to warn us. Why didn't we
we
listen?
just we didn't listen.
We didn't listen to George Lucas, and now look what the fuck we have.
We got punished for
Or
digging
maybe,
on the
yeah.
prequels too much. He
Yeah,
was just
for
like, "Oh yeah,
real.
you think that's bad?
Tortured the
Watch."
shit. Fucking, it broke him. It really did. He fucking,
Yep.
it
But okay,
did.
but the thing is,
It
there are
broke
two
him.
edits to that movie, two somewhat small changes that would have made the Phantom Menace much more solid, even though it would have had its detractors. Tone down Jar Jar Binks, for God's sake.
He was the merchandising opportunity there, though.
But
That was
backfired.
Jar Jar Binks' job, of course. Yeah, but
Maybe.
I
And
actually had
age
Jar Jar
Anakin
Binks
up by
doll.
like 4 or 5 years. That's all you need to do. Get a
Yeah, make him a
slightly
young teen.
make him
But
12, 13, because
yeah,
then sure, it's like a 12 or 13-year-old crushing on a
Better
16-year-old.
dialogue would have fucking
Yeah.
helped. Tell you that.
Well, okay.
well, it's not the dialogue's fault necessarily
It's the
either.
age
Like
of the actor.
actors suck
If
too. Yeah, the
yeah,
actors suck.
if you had an older actor who's a bit better, some of those lines would have worked. Like a 13-year-old cheesy pickup line. That
Yeah,
works. Yeah.
yeah. Because he's 13, especially if
Yeah.
his voice cracked when he said it. That would have been even better.
Padme.
Yeah. It would
Yeah.
also better explain how he's a decent pilot. He's a
Right.
bit older.
Even though
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a great pilot. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The only human, and he's like 10 years old. He's the only human
Yeah.
who can pod race, and
No,
he's
he's
10
like
years
8.
old.
He was like 8.
Whatever it is.
He
I
was
think he's like
young.
10. But
Whatever.
yeah, he is. He's
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah. Moving
But
on
yeah.
to the next one.
Jesus. Yeah, this is kind of that
This is what
little L libertarian to fascist pipeline sort of thing. I'm sure you picked this up in one of your favorite servers.
I don't know.
this is
No,
Twitter.
I picked this one off of Twitter just randomly.
Yeah, so it's like this is obviously it's Morpheus.
Yeah.
He's saying, "What if I told you they sold us on individualism because we can't beat them alone?" But that so if this is what you're saying, Midget, that it's a libertarian to fascism pipeline, then it's said by somebody who doesn't understand libertarianism. Like,
Yeah, I'm just
obviously,
saying it's a common theme. It's a
what
common
do you mean?
theme. It's one that gets beat on. It's a drum that gets beat on quite a lot.
But the thing is, it's a
Right.
drum that is working.
Yeah. I mean, when everyone else plays collective games, dude.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
thing.
that's the
And
thing is
that's
like
what this
you can be in a group and
Oh,
still
yeah.
be an individual and still be an
Yeah,
individual. Right? It's
Yeah,
just
and that's the
all
fucking
that's saying
ultimate
is like
conflict though, isn't it?
whose rights come first? Do the
Exactly.
individual's rights come first, or do the
Exactly.
collective's
Yeah.
rights come
And
first?
yeah.
That's the big fundamental
But the
difference
thing
between
It
the two.
really is.
That's it.
But,
It really
but the
it
problem
fucking
is
boils
look
down to
at
that, though.
the libertarian movement. It has more infighting than the left by far.
Yeah. No, it's
Well,
bad.
And
Yeah.
it will not survive contact with the enemy. It can't because there's too much infighting. There are too many libertarians that want to own
It's
each
the third
other.
option. It's not trying to fight, right?
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't win, right? It's not really trying to fight. Right? It's trying to, I guess, minimize the damage of the state. It's trying to.
But the thing is, to minimize the damage, they have to pick a side. You have to have
And
your
a
hand
lot
on
of
the
them do.
wheel. You have
A
to
lot
have
of them
your,
do.
Yeah, but the thing is,
A lot
most of
of them
those
go
join the
Republican.
Republican. Yeah, most of them join the Republican
Yeah.
Party. Now, what's
Right.
left is the lull, weed, open borders plants from the
Right,
left
which is
that were meant to infiltrate.
hopefully changing.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully changing. The Mises Caucus is doing really good work, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I think they're a lot better. They're a lot, sexier and cool and not nerds, even though they're like
And they'll still get like
philosophy nerds.
3% of the vote or less.
Yeah,
Who
but I
cares?
mean, so the Free State of
At
New
least they
Hampshire,
wouldn't be
the
as
Free State
cringe.
Project is doing a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of good work in New Hampshire
Yeah.
about like getting like concentrating libertarians in New Hampshire, like that way they can change that state
Yeah.
and like
Well,
show
yeah.
people that hey, look, this works. We're just trying to get they're trying to get as many
Yeah.
as
I
they
mean,
can
I'm in the
to go
camp
there.
of they should be trying basically
Yeah.
an underground campaign.
Right. Is someone gonna start the ethno
basically
state?
No. No, more. I'm more in the camp of the Libertarian Party should completely abandon federal level politics
I agree.
entirely. No
Yeah,
congressmen, no senators,
I agree.
no presidential candidates.
I mean, yeah,
I
if you're
agree.
being true to your principles, you don't even
Yeah.
Focus
want to play
entirely
that
on the
fucking
local and
game.
state level
I agree with
until
that.
such a
Yeah.
time as that you can then neuter the federal government through constitutional convention.
Well,
Get
not
an,
even, yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
even before then, there's a lot of
yeah,
work you can do, especially if you get a governorship.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
you just be like, okay, fuck you, federal government. Now what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
It's a
Whatever thing
gun
you're trying
law
to pass down, I'm not
sanctuary.
doing it.
It's a gun law
Yeah,
sanctuary state, says
Which
right.
Arizona.
at
Right.
this point, that
Imagine.
plank
Which
has
their
been
constitution
You
stolen.
is very,
fucking
very
I mean, that
imagine.
plank has been stolen by state level Republican parties all over the place. That plank is gone from the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
Which one?
Well,
The gun sanctuary state.
Oh, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of Republican governors run on that now.
Good.
Sure,
I
you get your
mean,
Dan
so
Crenshaws that are pro red flag law, but
yeah, of
he's like
course.
the
No,
last
there's always
gasp
a
of
few.
yeah.
There's
So
always a few, but no, I mean, yeah, but the main point is though, even if it's a Republican who does it, as long as they're, you know, I guess playing to my values, and I'll be like, okay, that's not a bad
yeah,
person, right?
yeah,
He's all right. I mean, he's a bad person. He's a politician, but
yeah. Well,
like, oh,
also,
he's
I'm guessing you're
doing
seeing
well.
fewer and fewer Democrats show any even remotely libertarian principles or ideals at this point, and so your
Oh, for
default
sure.
is
No.
either
So
your default is either vote the libertarian guy, vote no one if you don't like the libertarian guy, or vote
yeah,
Republican if they're decent.
I think it was. I'm not voting on the national level anymore.
Yeah.
But I think it was Reed Coverdale who put out a tweet. This is and he put it really well. Um, he said Republicans suck when they're in charge. Democrats suck. Like so they just suck all the time, whereas Republicans
Yeah.
only suck when they're in charge. And I
yeah,
agree with that.
Jesus
So like,
Christ.
Yeah.
it's a really good. Yeah, it's really succinct.
Well, also the
Really
Republican
good way to
Party
put it in.
is being changed quite radically by the
Yeah.
by the kind of by the basically the old energy. It started with the Tea Party, kind of.
Yeah, that fizzled out pretty quick.
That
Fucking
fizzled out,
boomers.
but
Bunch of
yeah,
fucking boomers.
but that
Because they weren't for anything.
sentiment,
They were just against
that
everything.
sentiment carried on into the populist
Yeah.
right movement we see today. It
Right.
was as I describe it. Trump was not not even the vanguard. He was the battering ram to break the door down.
Fuck that. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't
was
the
his
vanguard,
job.
though. You remember Ron Paul, the Revolution, man.
Well, no.
That was
the thing is, we haven't even gotten to the
that book
vanguard
was
yet.
amazing.
No, we haven't gotten to the vanguard yet. Vanguard's the first one in.
I see.
We are still at
I'm
the
talking
breaking the
about
door down with the
Vanguard's
battering
the
ram.
front line.
spearhead.
Yeah,
The spearhead
yeah.
was
Yeah.
fucking the Ron Paul Revolution, man.
Dude, that book was awesome.
2008.
So
That book, like, was probably the first piece of like libertarian literature that I read. It was really. He does a really good job of it. He even makes like the anti-abortion argument in there. He does. He's super good. He's
sorry, I think
super
we're
good.
getting caught down the weeds, guys. Got to move on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
So-
But yeah, just read that book if you haven't out there.
Yeah. Robert W. Malone, MD.
Can we even say his name on the air?
666 following. They probably did that on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, let me just read it up
Step
there.
1, and this is how climate change works, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Step 1, all the scientists agree. Step 2, here's a scientist that doesn't. Step 3, redacted. Step 4, all the scientists agree. Hooray!
That's
Okay,
not
emoji.
science, though.
That's
What was it?
all
all.
scientists
What
agree.
was it? It was I think it was Einstein when he released his paper on relativity. There was 100
All
physicists
the
that signed a
scientists
paper
agree.
said that he was completely wrong, and Einstein famously said in response to that letter, "It doesn't take 100 scientists to disprove me. It takes one with the right formulas or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, one person with evidence has the power to upset science and change our understanding in a properly functioning system, but it's gotten political.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is it's too politicized. I mean, they've got these contracts with Pfizer and Moderna or whatever, AstraZeneca. Probably not anymore. AstraZeneca.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because they're the ones that got pulled, right?
I don't
No, the
think
Johnson Johnson,
relative.
the other one.
I don't
Moderna got
think
pulled a little bit.
Einstein. I don't
Moderna,
think
J&J got pulled for a little while, but then was put back with some edits. It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
But
think
the point though is that
Einsteinian fucking
they bought.
physics
The point is that they
is.
bought all these vaccines and they need to use them, right? Because they have
Yeah.
expiration dates. So having these scientists come out here and be like, "Hang on, maybe you should think about this."
Well,
Isn't
I
really
mean,
good
I
for
don't want to
that.
go too deep into it, but basically what Dr. Malone was alleged he did was that he posted Pfizer's own report and came to a different conclusion from the data, saying, hey, based on the information I am seeing here, my expert opinion, this one doesn't meet FDA's standards for approval because it's not showing efficacy where they're claiming it shows efficacy.
Right.
Right. Well, they fucking broke open the control group, didn't they? They unblinded everyone early, and now there is no control group, so there's no
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
monitor of the efficacy.
There's also a bit of a whistleblower from one of the Pfizer testing facilities reporting that they were cooking the books.
And also not reporting adverse reactions.
Exactly.
It's almost like they wanted that sweet government contract as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Before anyone else got it. It's almost like a race to do it. So
Well, it's also totally that Pfizer isn't the company with the largest fine ever given to a medical company in world history. I think it was.
I think it's they're the largest fine at least in American history. Largest fine though overall.
Yeah, largest fine
to any company
overall. Yeah.
Any company ever.
Yeah. Right.
And that was only less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Trust
it's
fine. Pfizer makes Viagra as well.
Well, I'm moving on to something that is the one and true science right here.
True science.
Linguine. Better
over
than
fettuccine.
Over spaghetti. Over penne. Over angel hair. Over eating yarn. Over ingesting fiber optic cable. Over weirdos who put marinara on spaghetti squash.
First of all, why would you have spaghetti squash? That is
apparently it's a low carb because apparently it's a low.
No,
carb
it is.
Alternative.
My parents eat it. It's fucking gross. Yeah.
It's apparently a low carb alternative to spaghetti.
Yeah, no, I know it is. Yeah, they also eat cauliflower pizza, which is fucking disgusting.
That does sound pretty gross.
I mean,
yeah, she's like, oh, my mom's like, oh, it doesn't taste any different. I'm like, fuck off. Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, fuck off.
I had a buddy who
was that guy. No one thinks tastes good.
I had a buddy who was on like a low carb diet, so for mock mashed potatoes, he had mashed cauliflower instead.
Oh. No, dude. I swear, if anyone ever tries to trick me like that, if anyone's like,
he
it's
said,
mashed
this
potatoes.
Is for me. If anyone else wants it, this is exactly what it is. I'm not going to hide it from you. It's like,
no, that's fair.
That's
fair. That's fine. But
yeah.
If you try to trick me into eating, it's mashed potatoes, and it's actually cauliflower, I'm going to punch you in the face because that is breaking the NAP right there.
Yep, that's violating the NAP.
Type of aggression.
Yep, and moving on to the next one from our own J. Edgar.
Let's see. Dr. Fauci here, our hero.
Oh, he's sweating though. He's trying to make a choice. What choice is he trying to make?
He's got a tough choice. See, on one hand, he's got a button that lowers symptoms to reduce spreading. And on the other hand, he has that asymptomatic people can spread the virus. What's he gonna choose? Do vaccines lower symptoms to reduce
spreading? Of course, she's a woman. She doesn't get it. Katie said to the two women, just don't get it. Spaghetti squash. Katie said, sorry.
Mashed cauliflower is. I don't think she's claiming that it's a direct replacement to mashed potatoes. I think she's claiming it's tasty with butter.
It's good. It's fucking good.
Yeah.
You like
so
it?
Mashed potatoes, though. Mashed potatoes is fantastic with butters.
Yeah.
So, like, what?
I'm a fan of neither just because I don't like the texture.
I got a
Oh,
goddamn
dude,
dog.
fucking awesome.
So
I got a little
moving right
damn
along.
dog. I
Yeah,
got a goddamn
This
dog.
one's meant to hurt me. I know that. Ugh. That's just wrong. That is just
sucked.
wrong.
That thermal paste. That thermal paste there, Seawall.
A lot of it.
Why you do this? Why
Why
you
you
do
do
this?
this?
Well, Katie, I'm uninvited. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I'm not a fan of, mashed potatoes, refried beans.
Oh, nigga, it
And
is a
also, she
shoot.
didn't say y'all. She didn't say y'all, so I don't know. I'm not sure that this
You are
counts.
uninvited. Oh.
Said you are all uninvited, not
You're
y'all.
all.
Mm.
That's the
Yeah,
Fed.
not
The
y'all
Fed has
or
hacked Katie Zed's account and is now Fed posting to us. So
it's either
I think we're still
y'all.
invited.
It's
Moving right along, I guess.
no, that's a shoot, Seawall. That's a shoot. This
Ooh,
here
can
is
you
a
see the
shoot.
pixels?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
there we
see by
go.
the pixels. And
It's a
having
shoot.
seen many shoots in our day.
Yep. It's repeated. I see it. You can tell by this unique thing here.
You can tell by the pixels.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
Oh
having seen
dude.
many a shoot in our day.
Yeah.
Oh dude, you guys are sleuths over
Yeah.
here.
Once he pointed
Shoot
it out.
sleuths. Yeah, once you point it out, I can see it. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's still
So.
a lot though, even just that one.
Yeah, even that one glob is fucking a lot.
Yeah.
The same people that took 20 years to replace the Taliban with the Taliban are now fighting a war with COVID. I like it.
Yes, Lisa is very informed. Quite red-pilled is Lisa.
She's trying to get you to understand.
Right,
Yeah.
I've got a goddamn dog, you guys. And this
dude.
goddamn dog is talking about he wants to go outside.
You step
Well,
away for a bit. We can hold on. We can hold on to the show for a little bit.
Fucking dog.
all right, dude. Yeah, go deal with the dog.
Yeah, I gotta go do damn dog things. Freaking dog.
Oh, I like this. Just to be clear, the replaced Taliban with a new improved Taliban. They didn't have
Right.
all these cool Blackhawks and MRAPs before.
It's true. They're even Taliban-ier than ever before.
Yep. So I guess scooting along to the next one.
They improved upon the Taliban.
He decided to be ungovernable
Fucked up. That's right.
and violated the nap.
If it happens, that's how you become a martyr. You know, you become a martyr for the pig cause.
He's about to become bacon.
Yeah, of course. You have to die as a martyr. It doesn't count if you don't die. So, yeah.
Off to the
they give
butcher
him
with you, fence buster. May it taste better than you behaved. Well, the thing is, if he didn't violate the nap and was more governable, he wouldn't be in the situation.
Well, I mean, the fact that he was being held in confinement in the first place, means that the nap was broken against him, and he has no obligation then to
But he was
adhere to the
breaking the
nap.
guy. But he was breaking the guy's fence. Thus, had violated the nap. Thus, the confinement
No,
was
no, no,
justified.
no, no. But he was constrained by the fence against his will, so he has every right to break
No.
out any way that he needs to.
He was busting the guy's fence on the edge of the property.
Are you sure? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a wild boar.
Maybe. If it's wild, then yeah, he's in the wrong then. But if he was on the other side of the fence, then he's in the right. He's being held. I don't know if he's like a
But
regular
under that
pig, but he's
principle,
still too small to be brought to butcher right away. So yeah, might have been from the outside. Fair enough.
Also, the fact they're using a UTV from the outside trap like this, you don't set up internally.
Yeah.
A tame pig
Well,
is
you
much
still
more.
put them in a cage, you put them in the truck, whatever. I mean, Yeah,
Not
yeah.
always.
So,
They'll often also put them in cattle.
you trailer.
Cattle
You could have a
trailers.
trailer.
You just
Yeah,
leave them
yeah,
into a cattle
yeah.
trailer.
Right.
So,
True.
move it along to one of our friends of the show, Stone Toss. Just a little reminder for y'all.
Oh yeah, real quick, before you do that, Ed is wanting us to plug his new show instead of the Red Ned show. They now have the Zed Ed show. Katie Zed and Jay Edgar are doing a show together now. I watched a little bit of it last night. It was pretty all right. Didn't suck. So I would recommend going over there and checking that out if you haven't already.
Yep. Jay, the invoice will be in the mail. We expect you to pay promptly for that plug.
Promptly. Yeah.
Promptly.
Right. Like 2 business days. Like by Friday. I'll give you till Friday, Ed. I should have maxed out. It was a huge possum. Apparently,
No, it's a wild boar.
it's definitely a wild pig.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you want to zoom in on that a little bit if you can.
I'll zoom and enhance a little bit.
Zoom and enhance. Stone Toss Comics. Fantastic follow if you don't already. Remembering that time, I had like a dozen lefty Stone Toss copycats at once until they each floundered and quit. Good times. Yeah.
That's a good
Because
reminder for y'all.
the left can't meme, dude.
Yep.
The well documented and observed fact.
Yep. Because we actually have an example of why Stone Toss can meme right here.
Right, 3 panels. Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words? 3 panels, 8 words.
Technically, 4 words are the same word repeated.
I mean, yeah, but okay, fair. But you can't. But if you removed the 3 of those frees, then you wouldn't have it wouldn't work, right? So you kind of need those frees to be there.
Also, Jay, we never asked you to plug our show.
Take it off your tab and plug your show every morning.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
no, that's sweet. That's sweet though. He can keep doing it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll call it a wash.
Yeah, we'll call it a wash.
Yeah.
Our guys will contact your guys for a meeting with some other
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. But yeah, free love, free healthcare, free press, free speech, and then whack, physical violence. It's almost like that's been what's been going on for like the past 5 or 6 years. At least as far as I've known, right? As far as I started paying attention.
I mean, you've got
It's been
guys
about
like
5
Base Stickman fighting back, but
right.
you know,
But
also,
Base Stickman was like 2015 or 16.
Jesus, so like 15 or 16.
Like,
it was that long ago?
It was a long time. Base Stickman
Yeah.
is like you're dusting that off. That's
Yeah.
an old example,
Yeah.
right?
And
Base
also
Stickman
the
was
thing is, you know, if the right organized like the left and wanted to cause the havoc, the left would lose. They're cowards. Whereas the
you
right,
can quote
you know,
me, Katie Z, if you want.
Yeah.
Katie Z says it was pretty all right. Best review we've had since so far. Yeah, you can quote me if you want, Katie Z.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm fine with that. It's pretty all right. Yeah.
It's pretty all right for a white boy and a woman.
That's right, and a woman. Like, yeah, having a woman on it was pretty good. You know, those broads.
We love you, Katie. And you should know that because we rib you constantly.
Right, you're one of the boys. It's all good.
Yep. So, moving along to one of our friends, Freckled Liberty. Dems. Anything happening? Jan 6.
January 6th. Can't believe January 6th did this to me. Yeah. Well, I mean, they needed something to, when Trump's gone, they have to have something to cling on to.
Well,
And
the thing is, they've clung on to a literal sinking ship.
Right.
It's not working anymore.
January 6th and Ron DeSantis are like their 2 biggest.
And Ron DeSantis is like Teflon Don times 10. Nothing stuck.
Oh, dude, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's absolutely killing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Says all these like, oh, what's he doing? Where's he at? It's like, he's been gone for however long. It's like, oh, his wife has breast cancer and he's helping her with that. Like, oh, now you're a piece of shit for like criticizing him. I mean, he's been killing it.
Well, not only that, but last I checked, he's still doing semi-regular meetings with his staff. He's not absentee.
Press conference today.
He's not absentee. It's just he's not as public about what he's doing.
Well,
he's just kind of getting down to business in the background.
The problem is that he's not tweeting every day to get vaccinated. Yeah. So therefore he's killing millions of Floridians every day.
Yeah.
Like every day millions are dying in Florida. I don't know if you knew. It's fucking insane. Oh, yeah. You can't go anywhere. I can't my house.
Insanity.
So are you guys on corpse? So have you guys been drafted in the corpse patrol to pick up the corpses?
Yeah, every Wednesday I gotta go with the wheelbarrow. Yeah, I gotta go with the wheelbarrow around. Bring out your dead
with the bell and everything.
Yeah. Ding.
They borrowed from the Salvation Army because they clearly didn't need it this year. Oh God, Salvation Army got fucked this year.
Good. Fuck them.
Yeah.
They want to fucking virtue signal. They're anti-white.
Yep.
bullshit, then they can go straight to hell.
Well, moving along to the next one. How can anyone hate something so beautiful? Well, I can hate it because if you actually look at it, it's cheap sheet metal. That's all it is. It's cheap sheet metal that's
It's
decently reliable.
stampings.
Yeah.
It's stampings.
It's
Yep,
stamped sheet metal. It requires a fairly expensive process to set up the factory in the first place. I mean, sure, you'll get the money out in the end, but if you were for small scale manufacture, an AK costs about the same as an AR platform at small scale. And sure, the AR requires a bit more maintenance and is a bit more sensitive to some situations. But if you take care of an AR, it will outshoot an AK all the time.
Sure, outshoot, but I mean, you brought this up
AK fags
off the air.
eternally
You brought this up off
BTFO.
the air about it, but
Yeah.
you said as long as it has a massive
Oh, if
manufacturing
you have a massive
infrastructure, like
manufacturing, you
it
can
can be
build
built
these
really
things
cheaply.
dirt cheap.
That's the point. Well,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
whole point of it,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was still be an era weapon, and so they were like, okay, we have the ability to create shitloads of these things, so let's make it super cheap to make. And then so
Yeah.
like the government's spending
And at the
less
same
money on
time,
it and
they
giving it to
loosen up the
conscripts who they're
tolerances.
not paying anyway.
And
So
they
like
loosen up the tolerances significantly, sacrificing accuracy for lower required maintenance.
for more of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that any old fool can use it.
Well, not only that, but
That's the whole point of
theoretically,
it.
the tolerance is so loose on some AKs, you can mix parts that were made 20, 30 years apart from different
Right.
factories,
Because they're
and it'll
standardized.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
There is some variance
Yeah, of
between the
course.
factories.
Of course. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
also, remember, a lot of those AKs out of Afghanistan are pretty burned out at
Well,
this
shut
point.
up for a second because I think it's interesting to think that like the communist Soviet government had access to unlimited man hours when it came to the tooling up process.
Right.
Cost was not an issue. They could what you call requisition all the resources that they wanted or needed. They could keep some, fucking engineer in a gulag cell and tell him to fucking design this arms factory. And then they will literally procure everything that they need and they can I mean when you're working for a communist government, you're working to feed yourself, which is ironic.
Right.
Again, because technically that's what you're doing under capitalism, only it's in an at-will
Well,
arrangement.
it's from each according to their ability to each
You
according to their
got the
need.
fucking ability to
If your
tool up an
ability
arms
far
factory,
exceeds your
nigga.
need,
Yeah.
then what's the point? Right? You have no
You've
incentive.
got the fucking ability
Because you
to
get
tool up an arms
yeah
factory, motherfucker, and we're gonna make sure you do it in a gulag until it's done. And once it's done, like, who cares about the initial expense when it's in
Oh yeah, exactly.
expendable
yeah.
fucking
Because the
man
thing is,
hours?
setting up an AR factory is not cheap either, but it uses a lot more traditional things like milling machines, things that can be reconfigured to do other things.
Yeah.
So those are much more mass manufactured, easier to get a hold of. Whereas stampings have to be custom for the item you're stamping.
Yeah.
It's the reason why stampings are liked in manufacture and why stamped guns are very popular. But the thing is, when you look at the end of the day, a machined block of aluminum is going to last a hell of a lot longer if you take care of it.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course it will, but it doesn't need
Yeah.
to. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of it, right? They're so easily manufactured and cheap
Oh yeah,
that
yeah. So if you
you don't
lose one,
have
you just
to.
pick up another one.
Yeah,
Or if the
they're laying around
trunnions,
everywhere.
or if the trunnions burn out, you give it to an armor, he swaps it out for a new set.
Right. It's not a huge deal. That's the advantage of the AK platform. It's not really about its accuracy. Its accuracy suffers, but
Yeah, it
it
makes up for
it
it in
it, it
volume of
was
fire with
right. It
all
was
the
it was a good
guys
weapon. It was a great weapon for
for a
its purpose.
conscript army.
Right, for its
Yeah,
purpose, exactly. For like given fucking Vladimir, from the farm, who's never even seen a rifle before, the
The
ability to
same
go out and fight,
giving him
capitalists.
the same rifle as, some Yugo or some Polak,
Right.
given, or Belarusian, you give them all
East
the
German.
same fucking gun. Yeah, East German, you give them all the same gun. Any old fool can tote this
Yeah.
gun and
Right.
maintain it,
Yeah.
to a degree that, in the field. So yeah, absolutely.
So
It's a nice fucking piece, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the AK gets a lot of flack, but I mean, it's not a bad platform. Yeah, it's not the best one out
yeah,
there.
It
but
also
Yeah,
is
but I mean,
performed
significantly
its
weaker
function
to find
at the
particles
yeah,
like sand.
fuck if I'm aware of another platform that's existed more or less the same for over 50 years.
The AR platform, effectively.
yeah, essentially, yeah.
Well,
The AR platform's been around
I
for a
guess you're
while.
Fire
right. It
group's
did
basically been
kind
the
of
same. Bolt's basically been the
in the
same.
50s, yeah.
The only
Yeah.
difference that you see on occasion with ARs is sometimes they'll swap out the direct impingement gas system with a short
Yeah.
stroke or long stroke gas piston. But
Which
mechanically, that is near identical. That is just some minor
Hey,
differences in the grand scheme of things. The same
AK
what's
bolt.
funny
plasma.
Yeah.
is that the AR-18 was the preferred rifle of the IRA during the 70s
Well, it was
during the
also
Troubles.
also the AR-18 was meant to be the cheapo version that was
Right.
for third world countries that couldn't manufacture at the same standard,
Yeah.
while still holding
Well,
the same
yeah,
ammunition and magazines so they could support NATO still.
right, because they were a guerrilla group at the time. So yeah, they were essentially a
Yeah.
third world nation. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, also the IRA also loved their Stenlings, which was the scratch built
yes,
Sten Sterling hybrid guns.
Yeah.
that's true too.
So, moving right along.
Yeah.
Mmm. That Schadenfreude. It just right in the soul. Doesn't it feel great?
With its power grid under pressure, California asks residents to avoid charging electric vehicles. Hmm. Hey everyone, get off gas to save the planet. Hey
Hey,
everyone,
everyone.
global warming demands you use less air conditioning. Hey everyone, we know you got you off, traditional methods of heating and cooling your home as well as transporting you and your family for around your daily needs. But now we really need you to stop charging that electric vehicle we told you was good for the environment
They
because
already had tons of rolling blackouts, right? Rolling
Yeah.
brownouts,
yeah,
or
Well,
whatever.
also,
Yeah, of
absolutely.
you remember, obviously, because I'm in Texas, I always remember. You guys remember
course. Yeah,
the
yeah,
freak polar vortex? I think it was
yeah,
February
dude. Yeah,
9th of
Yeah,
last
I
year.
dude.
remember you
Yeah.
almost died. Yeah,
Dude, it
you were
got to
like,
like 45 degrees in my place, and I just
you were
bundled
like
up.
popsicle, and you were like, guys, if I don't make it, tell my parents hello, and then you
Tell
just
my
kind of fell
parents.
over. And I was like,
But
no,
yeah, the
Seymour, you're
thing
gonna make it.
is, several months later in the summer months, they tried to claim, oh, Texas is just like California because there was a warning that there were rolling blackouts. But if you digged a bit deeper, it turns out the reason why there was less capacity was because of the emergency repairs that needed to be done, and the
Mhm.
maintenance that had to be deferred due to the polar vortex. They basically had less capacity than they would have liked. To my knowledge, there were no brownouts or blackouts because of it. They just asked people, hey, to play it safe, try to cut back on your electric needs for like a week.
Well,
Get
I
it back to normal.
remember the fucking popsicle event itself being the fucking renewable energy not like failing. And the
Yeah.
problem about it was like, well, even then they wouldn't have, no, they would have had enough. They just weren't allowed to, due to environmental regulations,
They couldn't
to
engage the coal
fucking,
plants. They couldn't run the coal
yeah,
plants
they
at
couldn't
overdrive.
fucking bring these, yeah, they couldn't bring these plants up to fucking
Also,
par.
yeah, there also
They
wasn't.
couldn't even, they're operating at a fraction of their fucking capacity.
Yeah, and the thing is, the nuclear plant was obviously at 100%, or as close as they could get it safely. Because you can never bring a nuclear reactor to 100%, true 100%, because then you get Chernobyl. But
Yeah.
you can get,
Based.
but there's what I would call effective 100%. Where
95,
yeah, well
fine.
no, I would call effective 100%, which is the manuals. What is 100% output? And then there's a little bit above you can go in an emergency. I guarantee you they were doing the emergency.
Still,
And even then, and the thing is, yeah, it was the
wind
winter
turbines
that
were frozen
froze. Yeah,
fucking
and they
solid.
try to say, oh, well,
Um,
why didn't they winterize the winter turbines? Because we're Texas. We don't
Right,
get to
that'd be like
sub-zero temperatures that often.
right. That would be like Florida doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like the coldest it gets is maybe down to like 50, 45, maybe. Is that the coldest that it
In
gets
a
here?
freak part of northern
Coldest.
Florida, you might see
That'd be
some
like 2
frost.
a.m.
You might see some frost at 2 in the morning.
yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah. And then
maybe, yeah.
most northern parts of Florida.
Yeah, the northern parts of Florida. I mean, it hasn't snowed in Florida in like what, like 70 years, 80 years, something like that. We haven't gotten like a drop of snow in
Yeah.
for almost and forever. And
And I'm
then as far
guessing
as
even
I've been here,
I'm guessing even before that it was a rare event.
yeah, of course,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
like it'll be like oh we don't have snow plows or anything.
yeah,
We don't have any. It's like okay, well yeah, we don't need it. Like
exactly.
that's why.
And it's like, when I was like, well, why did they hook to the national grid? Do you know how often the national grid has problems? Texas is running an independent grid
Right,
because we don't trust y'all. I mean, motherfucker, you're hooked in with California.
right. I mean, it depends. Aren't there like I think there's three
There are
grids,
four
and then there's
grids, and
Texas.
there's four
Yeah,
Yeah.
grids in America. Then Texas is an independent
Oh,
grid.
okay, so
that's
there's five.
funny.
Okay. Yeah,
Technically
yeah. There's
speaking,
like the
I would
East.
say there should be quote unquote 50 grids. In actual fact, I could see something like, states that have lower population like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota having a joint grid.
Sure.
Just
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
or like because they're so small, like New Hampshire and Vermont sharing grid. Or Maine, basically have like a dozen grids through the nation that are connected to each other,
Yeah, I mean, regional
but there
grids
are,
make more sense
yeah,
than anything
regional
else.
grids that then have interconnect points that an emergency can be cut off. Like you literally have a guy in a station sitting there, and his entire existence is minor
Oh
maintenance
God.
around the substation. And if there's an emergency, he knows what switch to flip to shut
I
it or shut down
know
the
a
connector.
fucking
Yeah,
who would be great for a job like that.
Me, I could do that shit.
yeah,
You
What?
fucking sit on your ass and flip a
Sounds
switch.
awesome. Yeah. No, no, and wait to be told to flip the switch.
yeah.
Like
You don't
that's
even have
fucking
to make
what
the
a great
decision
job that
as
would
to
be.
when to fucking flip it.
Right,
Scooting
I just get a
along to the
phone
next
call.
main.
Okay, hey, flip the
Yeah,
switch. You got it,
yeah,
boss. Bam.
yep.
Switch flipped. Now what?
And,
Just wait till tell you to unflip it. All right, you
pretty
got
much,
it.
yeah.
Like,
And that way we could, in emergency, disconnect one grid from the rest of them to prevent a rolling failover. So,
yeah.
All right.
moving on.
Moving on.
The
That's right.
Socrates of our time.
Modern Socrates. Socrates saying, "I know that I know nothing." The Greek philosophers were dramatic people, very semantic as well. And then you have Alex Jones, the modern Socrates, going, "Look,
Well,
I
yeah,
know I'm kind of retarded.
wasn't Socrates
Oh, I'm
persecuted?
kind of retarded.
I'm kind of retarded."
Wasn't Socrates persecuted, forced to drink poison?
Yes. Yeah.
So, more
Like I said,
parallels.
dramatic. Like I said, they're fucking dramatic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, they're fucking dramatic.
And then well, I don't know if anyone can really truly be a favorite Romanian, but V,
Oh, well, he's the only Romanian I know, so he's my favorite
yeah,
by default.
yeah. But again, he's also Iranian, so.
Right, not his fault though. He didn't
Hiring
ask me.
party yes men to build and run nuclear reactors as cheaply as possible is bad. The Chernobyl disaster.
Right over the soy boy's head.
And we need soy
Right
voice.
over it.
We need the soy voice.
Oh. Nuclear energy is bad. That's his takeaway.
Yeah,
Also, what was it? I think it's
Nuclear
Germany is
energy
planning on
is
shutting
bad.
down 3 more nuclear plants in Germany, citing
They
wasn't
just
there
already
CO2
did.
emissions.
They already
wasn't there
did,
a
man.
problem with the like a Japanese nuclear reactor recently?
Yeah,
Not recently. It was
well,
in the
yeah,
past couple of
Fukushima.
years.
Fukushima. But the thing is, Fukushima was a very unique combination. It was an ancient reactor. It was like a 60-year-old reactor. Thing was
Uh-huh.
supposed to be decommissioned about 15 years ago because they were
Gotcha.
worried about a situation like what happened. It was only
And then
ever,
it got hit by a
yeah,
fucking tsunami.
not just
I was
that.
gonna say,
The
yeah, I know
site was
there's,
only ever rated to survive a 7.0 earthquake, and it was never tsunami rated because they built it
gotcha.
lower than they originally planned. Not only that, but it was not a failure of the reactor designs that was the problem. It was a failure of plant layout. They placed the backup diesel generators below sea level in the basements. So
Yeah,
they
and
got
they fucking
basically
flooded.
choked out. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
the thing is,
And they were
even
unable
then,
to reverse the process
yeah.
of chain reaction. They weren't
Well,
able
they
to
scrammed the
access.
reactors, but the problem is this reactor
Yeah.
design, the scram just brings it to a very low reactivity. And again, this is a very old reactor design. The thing is also, this reactor was designed to operate for quite a long time without water. days upon days, and they were able to eke it out. They found a way
Right.
to eke it out. And the thing is, it's not all the reactors that went up. It was like
Yeah, but eventually,
yeah. But and the thing is also, not all of the plant failed. There are, I think, 3 or 4 reactors that their generators were either they were able to pump out all the water and bring them online within the window, or were never flooded in the first place. So as I said, it's not a total failure. It was a partial failure of plant design. And yes, that region is currently contained, but the Japanese have done a great job with the cleanup effort.
well, anyway, imagine building a fucking, designing and engineering a fucking structure to withstand a 7.0 earthquake.
And then it survives a 9.0, which is 100 times stronger.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a
Pretty
serious
awesome.
achievement, man.
Yeah.
That's
And again, also not
a
only that, but
serious
the reactor was built like 50, 60 years ago.
Right.
It was an ancient reactor design that was supposed to be shut down, but due to environmental concerns for a replacement reactor that was supposed to be at a more secure location using a more modern design that was safer, they had to extend the plant. Because the Green Movement shut down the new plant.
Yeah, imagine that shit. And
So-
that's the reason. That's the reason behind the German shutdowns. Is like they want to go green, quote unquote, but they're not willing to utilize nuclear power.
Well, they're trying to do it with solar and wind, which
Oh, it's such bullshit.
Germany,
It's such fucking
how
stupid
much sun
bullshit.
do you actually get?
Yeah, and how many wide open spaces do you really have? Not a lot of
Yeah.
Lebensraum for the fucking
Yeah.
windmills, brah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, unless you're planning on, uniting the European superstate, then,
Well, even then,
I
it's still
think
not enough.
I think the most efficient per square foot in terms of like clean energy is gonna be nukes.
Yeah, and
This
you
is
know,
retarded.
Well, they're all saying, "Oh, well, we don't
Yeah.
have a place to store all the nuclear material for 1,000,000 years." I mean, if
Yeah,
you're talking
fuck
about, I
off.
mean, if you're talking about the least reactive isotope, sure, but the more serious stuff, that stuff decays in about 20, 30 years, and there is research into finding ways to recycle or safely contain it.
Yeah,
Just shoot
absolutely.
into space. Worst comes to worst. I mean,
That
No,
one is
imagine
risky. That
imagine
one's
the
pretty
market
risky.
providing a fucking
Yeah.
solution to a
Right.
problem.
Oh,
Imagine-
also
yeah.
imagine how much
Imagine that
money
shit.
the inventor of a way to recycle nuclear waste, how much money they will make when they patent that.
Oh yeah, imagine
They'll
the
be an instant billionaire.
motivation.
They'll be an instant billionaire, not just millionaire, billionaire.
right.
Imagine the motivation.
Not only that,
God,
but
greed is so bad, isn't it? God
well,
damn.
not only that, but
Self
if you swap
motivation
from uranium and plutonium
self-interest.
reactors to thorium reactors, one, thorium is a lot more common, and two, it produces 1/10 the waste for input. It uses about the same. It uses a little bit more material to get the same amount of power out of a plant, but it produces 1/10 the waste per weight.
What about molten salt?
That is a type. Molten salt reactors have had a checkered past, but that was just because they weren't engineered very well. And a lot of the thorium reactors are molten salt reactors.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yep, they're called molten core thorium reactors. And the reason why they're actually a lot safer, even though the fuel's already melted.
They have emergency ejection.
Well, not
A
only
lot of
that.
them have emergency ejection of
Well, not
fuel.
only that, but there is. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even that complex of a system. Do you want to know what the plug is made of? Sodium,
Yeah.
or some sort of alloy that melts at the well before the failure point. So if the
Yeah.
coolant fails, or there's not enough coolant going through it and getting too reactive, the plug melts and it dumps the liquid fuel into a boron neutralizing tank. The fucker turns itself off.
Yeah, it switches
with
itself
no
off
input,
in
with
case
no
of emergency.
advanced computer input.
With no input,
Yeah.
no, as a
If-
natural,
Yeah, if
as
you
a
just
natural.
leave it alone,
prop-
it turns itself
Yeah.
off. Not only
Yeah.
that, but the thing is, thorium is also not able to go super critical on its own. So you have to introduce a more radioactive thing, like a little plug
Yeah.
of plutonium,
have to bombard
or,
it. Yeah.
or highly enriched uranium, which means another thing. You have a probe with that on it. Oh fuck the reactor! We got to scram it. You pull one thing out and it turns itself off. So you don't even need to drop control rods. You just pull the thing out that's reacting everything. So
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty awesome, man.
so
Technology has advanced, yeah,
well,
in a
wait,
way that
technology
like
has advanced.
this
into
should
using
be
older concepts.
this should be elementary.
Yeah.
They should be putting these things up fucking everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Well, I would say putting them up along the near-ish by coastlines to run desalination.
Probably
plants.
bad idea.
Well, no, near-ish, because then you can have all that power for desalination. So
Maybe.
moving right along. From the
Yeah.
Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, one of the most, probably the only, the last bastion of based libertarian parties.
Libertarian Party of Kentucky is pretty good too, but yeah, it really is New Hampshire though. They're really the ones to lead the way.
Figure 15. Teach your kids how to handle guns safely and normalize the idea of appropriate use.
Yeah, if it's normal for them to be around, they're not gonna. I mean,
You demystify them.
obviously that one kid, but it's like.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
look, a gun. This is a cool thing I've never seen before and need to explore in every aspect.
Whereas,
Meanwhile,
Daddy left his gun out. I better put it in the safe so no one gets hurt.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you
And the first thing they do
normalize
is they
them being
clear the,
around guns,
first thing they do is drop the mag, clear the chamber, and go, okay, gun's clear. I can now safely take it
Guns,
to the safe.
yeah, I can
Right.
take it, put it away now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dad
exactly.
will be so proud of me.
That's what we're going like, oh, what's this?
But there's
They're
the
like,
fucking
I saw this
keyword,
movie.
isn't
Like,
it? Dad.
Yeah,
Dad.
especially, yeah.
It fucking is right there, isn't it?
Yep.
Dad.
No, it's true. Gotta have a male figure in your life.
Yep.
It's really important. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously important.
So, scooting along to the next one.
All right, let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, the Yugo with the fucking
50 cal. The recoil is going to destroy the vehicle before anyone else does.
yeah, for real. That's a solid like welded. There's no. I hope there's a spring in there to allow for recoil.
I don't think it is. I think they just welded it directly to the frame.
Yeah, that's not a good idea, man. The vibration, you're right, will shake the poor thing to pieces.
Because if I remember right, the Yugo is made out of basically mild steel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of,
Maybe
we don't see it. If people are confused as to why you would ever have a car like this, if you are just got to go to the village from your, 100-year-old house down the lane that's, wide enough for two people to pass each other,
slash
like
a horse and
all you
single horse
fucking
and
need
cart.
is
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
To bring back a baggie or daily shit because you have a community, a small town that you're a part of.
Half the time you're going to walk to the market.
Yeah, most of the
bike.
time, but it might be raining or some shit. You hop in the Yugo and you're on your
hold
way.
on, it's not a Yugo. It's a
Yugo, is
BMW
it?
Isetta.
I can see the BMW badge there.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Is it
would
like
hope
a
that
door in the front? Is that
they
what that
have
is?
it is a door on the front. Yep, you open it up like a fucking big
Oh,
door,
okay.
and
So
you
like
jump
in the front, and then you get in the foot through the front.
around the
Weird,
steering
you
wheel.
Wow. Yeah, because the steering wheel goes up with the door, I imagine, right?
No, it doesn't. It
Nope.
stays
No.
down on the floor. It's got to
you're
reach
supposed
through and fucking
That's
steer.
true.
You
Oh,
just you just go around it. You just
Yeah.
move
Oh my
around it.
God.
You can't be fat as fuck.
Of course not. Yeah, absolutely not. Holy shit.
Yep. But
I didn't
But
realize.
I mean, yeah, simplicity, man. Because I mean, when life is simple, life is good, bro.
I mean, that's
God
true,
damn.
but like you could
But
just put a
also
door
there's
on the
not-
side. That's more simple, I think.
No. That is harder because the thing is the frame's going right about here.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
if he's got it on a spring, a stiff spring, and the thing is, it's gonna fill the fucking car full of spent
Hot brass.
casings, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's gonna collect all in the fucking seat and shit.
But hey,
That's true.
the thing is, they don't have Toyota Hiluxes and Tacomas in.
That's
so
funny.
They had to use something to mount the 50 cal on to make it
That's
technical.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see a quad 20 on that
Well,
bitch.
that's the thing. Where's the gunner? Where's the gunner?
Yeah,
He is a. Oh,
he's
they
gotta be, like-
okay. You remember those pegs you put on your bike wheel?
Yeah, on the
back?
bike.
So
Oh,
right on
yeah,
the back.
yeah.
Yeah, they got something like that on
Yeah.
this.
Just
Just one
Nice.
brave motherfucker on the back.
Fuck being that guy.
Yep.
But the
I'll
thing
lose
is, if
the
you
weight and get around that steering wheel. Fuck that.
but the thing is,
I'll take the
if,
hot
but
brass
the
to my head rather than trying to ride on the back of this thing. Hell
But the
no.
thing is, if you're right on the back of this thing, and you survive, think of how much pussy you're gonna get that night.
That's true. Yeah, you're gonna be drowning in pussy. That's true.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing to make it worth it.
Moving right along.
The Reasonable Man. He owns a Komatsu D355A. Minus 13 buildings, plus 5 miles per hour. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things.
That is
It
true.
seems like wisdom.
It is
No
very
one
wise.
hurt.
Very wise
Plus
man.
100 morals. Took his
That's
argument directly to local government. Plus 100 decisiveness. Welding skill. Plus 100 armor. Unfortunately, minus 100 egress.
That's right. He did have minus 100 egress.
Well, also, you guys have heard about the engineering, kind of the engineering report on how that armor was constructed, right? It's composite armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was concrete and steel.
Which
Yep.
the
Pretty
thing
fucking
is,
intense.
I mean, they were talking about calling in the National Guard with a helicopter with a fucking Hellfire missile to stop
Right.
it.
Yeah, well, a shaped charge is just about the only thing that's going to get through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I mean, even a 50 cal would have trouble with that. I mean, they probably
Yeah,
could get a weak
absolutely.
point, maybe,
No,
but
that's not going to penetrate.
yeah.
You know, how many fucking inches of concrete? Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
a shaped charge is your key.
Yeah.
Is your key to that
Well, I mean,
fucking cracking that
well, I
egg.
mean, if they brought out an Abrams, probably one of those a titanium sabot,
Yeah.
like super fast
yeah.
ones would have been able
Yeah.
to take out that engine pretty quick. But you know,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
rolling Abrams into small town America.
It's not.
Yeah.
Probably
not
not the
your-
best thing for the news camera.
I think they lack the requisition authority to call something like that in.
Well, I mean, if he never got stuck, they probably would have eventually had to call in the helicopter.
Yeah, I imagine
Yeah,
so.
probably.
Yeah, if he kept going, how
He couldn't get out. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
no.
Well, he
other
would have
Yeah,
eventually
he
run
did
out of
out, but I mean,
fuel.
it would have run out of gas eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They would've just
and
waited it
still,
out,
it
yeah.
would have ended the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with yeah.
Yeah, if they would have
more
brought on the
destruction.
welder, they would have brought on the welders from a blind spot, try to cut him out, and then would have heard the single shot. So.
Yep.
So moving right along. From Reed Coverdale, last meme of the night.
Let's see, what time is it? I guess we're doing all right.
Yep. We need the
Fine.
soy voice for the initial quote.
Oh,
Be the
I
lawyer.
see. Reed said something mean and insensitive.
Your Honor, my client says he did it and pleads, who cares? We move to dismiss all charges. And I guess John is the judge.
Granted. Yes.
Is that an affirmative?
All charges dismissed. Yes. Right.
I also
Yeah,
declare man
noise.
based.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
is that an affirmative defense?
Yes, I would think it's an affirmative defense.
Yeah.
Well, Highleaf, a javelin missile would have basically just been using a Hellfire. Either
Yeah,
way,
there's
it's
no-
a shaped charge being deployed in an American small town.
Yeah,
That
they wouldn't
is
be a fan
really-
of that.
Yeah, the only way that would have been authorized if he basically started just gunning down dozens of people, and at that point, you know, if he
plus 100 morals. He didn't do any such thing.
Right.
yeah, no one was hurt. It's just he basically targeted the businesses and buildings of people who wronged him.
Businesses and I believe his ex-wife's house as well.
Yep.
That's right, because
Yeah.
fuck that bitch.
That bitch.
So, now on to the first article of the night.
Ooh. I think it's appropriate that we're covering this crazy bitch's eyes. I would love to die from the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Oh my god, I would be honored. It would be my honor to die for my fellow humans in order to figure this thing out. Oh my god, dude.
That's basically her
self-sacrifice
reasoning.
like,
Collectivism.
isn't self-sacrifice like that
problem,
also
collectivism.
found very heavily in certain fanatical religions?
Yes.
Dying
Martyrdom,
for
you
the
mean?
faith? Yeah, martyrdom, dying for the
Yeah.
faith. And while it may have a place, I mean, even libertarians believe in martyrdom.
Well, I mean, it's not martyrdom. Isn't really a belief system.
Well, oh,
It's
sorry,
more
what I should
kind
say,
of like
they
it's
believe
a
that martyrdom may be necessary for certain goals. If certain things were to happen, like an oppressive government, libertarians would allow themselves to be martyred.
some of them might.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe.
others would,
Yeah, well,
Others
others would pull out the
who got
cookbook and
martyred.
find the and find the stuff that makes plants grow faster and the smelly gasoline.
Right.
Well, do you want to push that line and see just where it lies and
That's why I was using euphemisms.
see blindly?
Katie Z is asking, "What the fuck is wrong with women?" I don't know. You tell us. You're the woman, Katie
Yeah.
Z. You let us know. What
I'll
the fuck
answer
is wrong with
that
women?
briefly,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Sure.
Uh, and I've explained this, I believe, to Rachel before, so it's not like, mask off or anything, but women value social standing for one thing. Social pressure and normalization appeals to them as opposed to reason and logic. They're
Yeah.
also um, prone to rashness with regards to their getting into their own heads that their ideas are all correct. And so that forms a delusion, which is reinforced again by social interactions, because that's what drives their thought process is consensus, community, acceptance, and wanting to be desired.
That makes a lot of
Uh,
sense. Yeah.
so in that regard, what's wrong with them is that, well, I mean, they're women. I'm not sure what's there is to be done. What's wrong with them? I
Well,
mean,
that's
nothing
one of the
really. Nothing really, I guess. But
Well, I
they're
mean,
operating
those.
that's
as they're operating
Yeah.
as intended.
It's just that
yeah, right.
evolution
It's
hasn't caught
operating
up
as
to our modern
there's nothing
society
really
yet.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's as it's supposed to be,
It's
I
just that
suppose.
they don't have a man to kind of
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know mitigate those cons
Well,
that are
also remember back
yeah.
in
you
the
know
back
Center
when
them.
same
humanity
with women and
evolved.
doing that. Yeah,
Well,
Well,
same with women doing that with men, right?
yeah.
Women curb a lot of men's worse habits or badder
Well,
habits,
John, you
whatever.
do
So
you
it's kind
do
of
get to something there where
yeah,
it gives a woman something to which to gravitate,
right,
to be centered, to form that social standing identity around the family,
Yeah.
right,
which
exactly.
Yeah,
is
but
in the
yeah.
end the most
That's what
valuable.
Yeah.
the normalization, like we were talking about, of just like of whatever's going on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Applies to the
Well,
family, especially.
well,
Yeah,
also the thing
absolutely.
is, in a normal working system, a woman would accept would desire acceptance the most from the family
Yes,
before
indeed.
society.
Yeah, and that's
That's
what
Yeah,
over
yeah.
socialization
yeah.
is about.
No, 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 the
And
family,
that's
but
why girls are broken so badly broken by it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's why you see it these days is over
it's not
socialization of
it's not just the
women.
family though. It's the community around you, right?
Yeah, well,
That's why you
it's
have like
become
gossip.
hyper toxic.
Women, mostly
Yeah.
women, engage in gossip more often than men do. Not that the
Yeah.
men don't, but more often so, women engage in
Well,
gossip.
I
But that's
mean,
because like they're trying to
Yeah.
increase their standing by
yeah.
Yep,
putting another
absolutely.
standing down
Men
in the
gossip because
community,
it's
right?
funny, and they gossip with the guy that's the target of the gossip most of the time.
Right. Most of
It's
the time,
good
the
natured
person's
ripping.
there,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
you rip on the person, which is not.
Whereas
That's not
women do it behind the
right.
back of the person
Yes.
that's their
Yeah.
target, and they do it to raise their social standing. Guys do it
Yeah.
to be funny and to basically. Also, it's kind of a backdoor way guys
Bonding.
bonding
Yeah,
as well as a
that
backdoor
women
way
don't
to get guys to
understand.
improve themselves.
Yeah,
Basically,
women
That's
we're gonna
don't
make
get
fun of you
it.
for
They
it's
this,
don't get
true.
it.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
true.
a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, man, you may want to work on this. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
oh man, John, you got fucking wasted last night.
Right.
Yeah,
That
you
can be a
fucked that fat
call. That can be a call
you
saying,
fucked that
hey,
ugly chick. Like,
yeah, exactly,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
eh,
No, 100%.
that
That's
was
yeah,
so
absolutely
hilarious,
true.
dude, but maybe you should
yeah,
check yourself.
yeah.
Like,
The
Yeah.
between the
You
lines
should
is,
go to
dude,
get
you need to
tested.
drink less, please, God.
Right. Right.
We
Yeah.
love you,
No. I
bro. We
mean,
don't want to go to your funeral for liver failure.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
did you see your face the next day? Like,
yeah.
damn,
yeah.
you fucked a dude.
Also, Katie said you may be. We grant you the title of one of the boys, but you do not sit on this council.
That's right.
You too. Oh, this is unprecedented. It's
Right.
unfair.
Well, you do realize that most of our guests who are actually men aren't on the council either. We're the only 3 council members.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're not adding
Yeah,
to the council
yeah.
anytime
We'll
soon, guys.
grant the
So,
title, but not a seat at
right.
the council.
Right. Exactly. Well, you don't. It's not a capital B boy.
Yeah,
Right. We're capital B boys.
yeah.
They
They're
are lowercase.
little b boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also,
exactly.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. And Katie, at the end of the day, it sounds like you probably tend to prefer to hang out with men.
Well, she's
Sounds like.
also married.
Yeah.
So
True.
Lucky
again, like I
girl.
said, hanging
Yeah.
around a guy will curb a lot of those,
True.
a lot of those faults, I guess.
Yeah.
Proclivities. Proclivities.
Right.
They're not really faults, are they? It's like you said, they're working as intended. There's
Actually,
nothing
High Leaf, I
per
need you to
se
get
wrong.
the Italian tankette with the Toad flamethrower tank.
Jesus Christ.
Damn, but hard.
We need to
You really want to
small
go with like a
maneuverable.
Fiat
Yeah.
for this?
Fiat 2000 with a flamethrower on the front.
There you go.
Yeah. So, well, moving on to the next story.
Well, anyway, that's more or less her line of reasoning is that, she tells the story of, and 3 health workers, right? So she knows 4 people personally with this rare fucking AstraZeneca thing. And it's why it was pulled from the European market, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's rare, safe and effective. It's rare. I know 4 fucking people. I would love to be one of those people because they're getting so much attention.
Well,
I would love to be that person in 4, and like you said.
Well, also, I think they're claiming this is across this nation of Norway. Not, I know them personally. I think that's more. I think in Norway, 1 healthcare worker died of a cerebral hemorrhage, and 3 healthcare workers were admitted with blood clots.
I know a guy who died of a cerebral hemorrhage.
Wasn't pretty, was it?
No, he just dropped dead on the spot and had a fucking huge funeral procession through the middle of town, and no one fucking talks about it.
Yeah,
wait, who is this?
It's not polite. It's a firefighter that I shared the story about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the fucking autopsy showed. Cerebral hemorrhage.
Which is one of those things that a cerebral hemorrhage, it is unless it happens while you are literally outside of an already prepared brain surgery room, there is no chance you're surviving.
Not really gonna stop it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you're right outside of that already prepared surgery room with the doctor that knows all of your stats inside and out, there's still like a 50-50 shot you ain't making it.
For real, bro.
Yeah. So smaller ones can be stopped because, well, I mean, technically those can be more like stroke-like effects.
Yeah, as opposed to like a fucking
brain bleed, and then suddenly the brain is now cheese grating itself against your skull due to swelling.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next story from the New York Slimes.
Yes. So, if you hadn't wondered, the reason I'm sharing this article this evening is not to talk about China, but to talk about the fact that these tools, this infrastructure exists. These methodologies are understood. The means by which this is orchestrated is merely the basics. The facts and the fucking particulars, amusing though they are, really are just the flavor of the underlying text, being these infrastructures, again, of gang stalking, like individual people, gang stalking, of digital spying, of network spying, contact tracing, espionage, outright murder. These methodologies exist and are understood across the globe. Just because we have a story in the New York Slimes, a hit piece against, China for whatever reason, because I guess that's okay now. Because they won't watch our cape shit movies anymore. Because they won't buy our plastic bottles anymore and burn them in their own fucking So, I mean, just because we're talking about China in this case doesn't mean Mossad or fucking the CIA isn't doing
Well,
the same shit.
well, they're doing the same shit, but the thing is, the infrastructure may exist, but the people running it are horribly incompetent. The only group that is effective at this are the Chinese. And what is the one thing what would you say is the political position of the Chinese if we were to do what I call the three-axis test? You know, authority versus liberty. What was it? Economic, communism versus capitalism, and then
Yeah.
progressivism versus conservatism socially. Where do they
Yeah, the
lie on
three
all
axis.
those?
Yeah.
Where do they lie on the three axes? Two of them are very obvious. They're fairly center. They're kind of center left for economics because they do allow some quote unquote free trade, but it's only to benefit the state. They
Yep.
are also obviously hardcore authoritarian.
It's almost
but
fascist.
they're also fairly
almost.
right-wing socially.
Well,
Yeah, they're fucking
it is
fascist.
fascist,
And guess
right?
what?
Well,
They are the only
right-wing
ones
is
in the
not,
world that are effective at doing this shit.
Fascism is a pretty
kind of
fucking
fascist,
effective form of government, isn't it?
And the thing is that I've been
It's
warning the
definitely
left. I've
efficient.
been warning the left for years of this. The tools that Twitter has made to try to censor people will be the chains that bind the left and forever kill their ideology. Because if the right gets
go ahead.
if the authoritarian right gets control of those systems, it's over. There will be no
Well, they know
left-wing
how to
thought.
use
It'll
them.
be
They
gone.
know, they know how to use them a little bit.
Yeah, because the thing is, the authoritarian right wing, they're willing to helicopter people.
the same-
You
yeah,
want to
it's-
check out what I posted and see if this is along the lines of what you're talking about?
The right wing has the same lack of the authoritarian right wing. It has the same lack of scruples and the same disinterest in consistency and more about just results, which is what the entire left wing ideology is about. Is about results rather than.
But the problem is the
means.
left wing's position is untenable.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas
Correct.
the right wing is actually exceptionally stable. It is actually fairly close to the
more
natural state of
attainable.
humanity. It's fairly close
more
to the natural.
attainable.
Yeah, it's much more attainable. Because the thing is, in an
More
alternate
attainable, yeah.
in an alternate timeline where, for whatever reason, the U.S., Germany does not. Somehow Germany gets what they want out of Poland, or Poland pisses off the French and the British, and thus those guys stay out of World War II. And it's the Soviets versus the Germans. The Germans win that fight, and they likely survive.
Well, they fucked that shit up, didn't they? Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Let's not get bogged down.
Yeah.
Let's not get bogged down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially 'cause,
with regards to
This definition of anarchism here is kind of retarded. So.
All right, yeah, that might be a crap meme. I just posted it. It's super old. But back to China. I mean, yeah, absolutely. They're calling. They're getting in touch with the relatives of Chinese nationals in America, and here's a loverly picture of Winnie the President Xi Jinping in front of a clapping and enamored audience in
all wearing masks except for him.
That's right, except for him. He doesn't need to do that shit.
Well, yeah, he's immune, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, look at all these people. Oh, they got family disappeared in China because they're living in America and don't like fucking China.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
guess what? Neither do fucking I.
Yeah.
So,
Well, also, fortunately, China's House of Cards is starting to implode. So.
Right.
we shall see. We shall see. You know, nothing ever actually happens. The fiat game, as we shall see in the next story, the fiat game will play itself for a long
Are you sure about
time.
that? Are you sure about that? The next one is is fiat currency. Because
I
I'll
can
go to
see
right
it
now
on the screen right now.
Is
It's
it-
not the case.
Oh,
It's not the
okay.
next one, apparently.
All right. Well, is it not?
No, it's the most
not,
important news of the day. Ted Cruz is going to release a swimsuit calendar.
Oh, I see. The Babylon Bee
Breaking
says
Guys, you got heard it here
all
first.
his
You were on Twitter
haters
earlier.
are just unable to resist his raw sex appeal. Oh, I see. The Babylon Bee says
Right.
that his raw sex appeal
Yeah.
was fuel for haters.
Yeah.
And he says he'll do a swimsuit calendar to own the libs.
Looking
Oh, look at this first one.
As
Just in Texas.
though it was like
I
2015
really
again.
wish we had some grown-ups
Yeah.
leading Texas. It's all a joke and isn't Fled Cruz. Okay, that is a terrible name because it just does not roll off the tongue well.
And you know what?
I mean, Flood Cruz is kind of cute, but like,
Fuck this reply guy faggot with his fucking
right.
smug goddamn think he's scoring points looking like a retard for real.
For real.
Yep.
But there's of course
try to
the
reply
rainbow
with
flag.
this,
I dig it though. That's actually funny.
Yeah. Well, also at the end of the day, I really want to ask, what could Ted Cruz have done if he was in Texas? He's the senator at the federal level. He's not a state senator. He doesn't deal with a lot of the state level shit.
He really doesn't have any of those connections.
Did you want him to be in the fucking governor's mansion?
He doesn't really even have those connections, does he?
Yeah. I mean, well, I guarantee you has some connections, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, he knew there was a big freeze coming, so I guarantee you, he did the standard. Told his staffers, "Hey, get some charities up and running. You know, contact some of our people in the field, see if they can help." The generic shit that every every senator will do if there's a disaster in their state. They'll make sure their staffers have got, GoFundMe set up.
Oh, well, they got Maxine Waters, dead center in the middle of a crisis. They got Dianne Feinstein right there in the middle of it if something goes wrong.
Aren't they egging on the crisis, though?
I'm just talking about, active leaders, right? And role models.
Right.
There you go.
Move it along. So, gentlemen, get out your tinfoil. Just in, judge approves Ghislaine Maxwell to get a booster shot.
Oh, yeah, it's for her safety. Goyim, she needs the shot. Don't you understand?
Well, here's the problem, though. Wasn't her father Mossad?
She needs the jab. Yes, he was. Yes, he fucking was.
That means she's somewhat untouchable?
We'll see.
True.
It seems we shall see.
A theory I heard is that she's going to be extradited to Israel to serve out the sentence, and she'll totally be in a jail cell the whole time, guys.
Totally the whole time.
Yeah.
Totally for real, yeah.
The whole time she'll be there. Yeah. She'll be right there.
Yep. And whenever,
but
just remember,
to interview her.
But if you want to do an interview, give us a week's notice.
Yeah, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, for security precautions, and then you'll see her wheeled out, in her coiffed hair and makeup, wearing the orange jumpsuit, talking about how hard it is for her in there. But she's learning to embrace God or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and it'll look like it's from the Riviera, but she's totally locked down under house arrest in Israel.
Moving along to the next story.
Yeah, here's a little story from my back porch, or from my porch here.
Yep.
I love this guy. All right, he's our local ne'er-do-well, middle of the pack, like middle of the crowd, shouting all kinds of stuff about the North Side, Black Lives Matter, and he's trying to convince someone. I mean, surely the people exchanging Black lives around here aren't listening.
We're getting into dangerous territory.
I mean, and this is his territory. This is his territory.
There's a storm blowing in, John.
We're talking about his territory too, North Side Coalition.
They're just not wrong at all, though.
Like, they're not listening to him. So here he is. He's here he and others. I don't know about him specifically, about this particular what I'm saying about this group of guys, among which he was one. They were there to ask Governor DeSantis about critical race theory. They were there imagine wasting your time on some shit like that. Imagine being there and making a scene
at a ridiculous rate.
And then imagine being the governor trying to have a press conference about fucking monoclonal antibodies and opening a freaking situation here in Jacksonville about it.
Well,
And you
because he doesn't
got
care about the virus.
these grifter wanting to raise his national profile because he confronted that Governor DeSantis. You know, that Governor DeSantis gonna be president one day, and he can say, Ben Frazier can say, I confronted him. That was me there getting arrested. Why I'm being handcuffed for?
We
Like,
asked you to leave politely. We then told you to leave because this area was not open to the public.
but I'm here to ask him about critical race theory.
If you want to have a meeting, we can try to schedule one.
As though that were a topic worth discussing.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Like, what a dumb thing for the governor to waste his time to have to feel obliged to answer. He just waited them out. He ended up waiting them out. But this guy so he didn't even get to see the governor, which is a good play.
Yeah.
On DeSantis's part. Like, Ben Frazier didn't get what he wanted out of this.
Well, I mean,
he
that's
just
the
got
difference
a
between
local news story as opposed to national fucking profile that he was fishing for.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, an activist getting uppity and putting handcuffs and sat in a squad car for 30 minutes, and then
that's good publicity.
Without.
But he's a joke around here. Yeah. I mean, Christ's sake, like we can't.
Well, okay,
it's been a problem for years.
Private about public health. It's like
shit.
Bro, you do realize that these press events are restricting access to press only for COVID restrictions.
Well, there's nothing private about public health, he says, while barging into a... Jesus Christ, making himself the same. And then offering a canned line like that. Well, I'm sure he said more than that. It's just this is what the news is saying.
They're scrubbing it as best they can.
So, this is a public building. We don't intend on moving, he says. Why am I being handcuffed? Am I being arrested as he was led to the room?
Am I being detained?
Yes. Right. I've never heard the cops say, yes, you are being detained. Or I've heard it a few times, and then basically they error 404. They error 404. Because, John, let's say cops pulling you out and you ask, am I under arrest? And they say, yes. You say, okay. Is that your response? Just, okay, understood.
Yeah, of course. Well, if I respond at all. Yeah. I mean, the less that you say, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, you just say, understood, officer.
Yeah, even okay could fucking cause a problem.
Right.
God damn, even okay. They might construe that to be like, oh, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he was resigned to his arrest.
He knew he did something wrong.
That's right. So we therefore ignore his alibi.
Do not talk to cops. They are not your friend. They are trying to get something on you. Yep. Just don't say anything.
Yeah, and if they ask to search the car, I say, I'm sorry, officer, I cannot consent to that search.
Right.
So
not consent to any searches.
I do not consent to any searches.
Right. That's all you need to say. You don't even say anything else. That's it.
If they ask me for a witness name, I'm more than happy to give one. Let me contact my lawyer so we can draft it properly.
No, I'm not saying
this fucking thing. Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I would say,
this
look,
fucking
sure,
guy.
I'd be happy to give you one. Let me call my lawyer so we can draft it and then submit it to you through proper channels. Basically,
anyway,
you want to know about this event? I'm gonna have a lawyer fucking scrub that shit before it's sent in.
Right. So this guy fucking made an ass of himself again, as he is wont to do. He just shouts, and he didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah, he got to
sit
in an air-conditioned cop car for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and he did not get to.
Yeah.
Yep, and he didn't even get his 15 minutes of fame on CNN for whoever watches that bullshit.
Apparently, less than a tenth of the people that watch Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad.
Arrested on a misdemeanor trespassing charge, but released on his own recognizance and given a notice to appear.
Right.
They're gonna drop it. They're gonna drop it.
Yeah, of course, they're gonna drop it, right?
Yeah, that cop's got better shit to do than show up for this blowhard. Because if he shows up, he knows he's gonna be stuck in court all day with a blowhard.
Right. He's just like,
And he is a blowhard, dude.
Yeah.
He really fucking is. He's been going on the same shit for years, and nothing changes, dude. No one's listening to him.
Yeah.
Not the people who are doing, not the people who are committing all this violence. Is stupid fucking. And there's a lot of it, dude. We just, for the record, the north side of Jacksonville is number one in terms of violent crime.
Well, let's get to the next story. I think this will be the last story because we gotta.
This is the one that
This
we were
is the
talking
one,
about.
yes.
The Fed.
Yeah. The House of Cards for the Fed is starting to get a little bit fucky.
All right, so there aren't apparently a lot of fucking stories about this, but
right back.
I was able to find the link to the literal list itself of financial firms who quote unquote borrowed. Okay, they received $4.5 trillion in cumulative loans in the last quarter of 2019. Hey, Seawall, what was happening in the last quarter of 2000? Do you remember what was happening in the last quarter
That was
of 2019?
I mean, that was the very beginning of COVID, but it was barely on the radar.
Oh, you mean when stuff was locking down?
No.
When the economy began to reset.
Stop. That was quarter 1 and 2 of 2020. This was
no. Yeah, you don't understand. The plan was put into motion.
Yeah, this was 2019, back when the quarter. I don't even think I heard about COVID until early January of 2020.
But still,
that was when it was starting to be noticed by those that keep an eye on things. The early stuff apparently may have started back in October in China, but we're not entirely sure. Just because it's hard to tell with respiratory illnesses.
On September 17th, 2019, the Fed began making trillions of dollars a month. Trillions of dollars a month in emergency repo loans to 24 trading houses on Wall Street. 24 trading houses. What is this, to cover their fucking margins?
More than likely because at that point.
This funny money?
Well, yeah, at the end of quarter of 2019, small businesses were booming. They were just popping up everywhere. That means the bigger businesses were seeing a slowdown of profits.
And you can't have that.
No.
You can't have that. When profits slow down, bonuses slow down. And when bonuses slow down, the human trafficking slows down. And then you can't have that shit.
Most of those sound like good things.
Not if you're an evil person.
You are. Yeah.
But I don't want to be an evil person.
We can hate the Antichrist all we want, but he's sitting in the lending houses.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway,
trading firms sounds like they were trying to head off some sort of collapse. I wouldn't be surprised if they had
some kind of reset.
Yep.
Some kind of fucking reset. All right. The dollar amounts of the repo loans grew to staggering levels. On October 24th, it was reported the following. The New York Fed will now be lavishing up to $120 billion a day in cheap overnight loans to Wall Street securities trading firms. A daily increase of $45 billion from a previously announced $75 billion a day. 14-day term loans. Fucking exactly what happened during the 2007 Wall Street collapse.
They bought time. COVID bought them time. They were able to hide a lot of it. I'm guessing that it's going to pop again sometime soon.
Yep. And thanks to Dodd-Frank, the Fed is legally required to release the names of these banks, but only 3 years later.
It's almost like they're trying to, get the bag to somebody else before it's revealed they were the ones that did it.
And reset everything? Yeah, you're fucking crazy ass conspiracy theorist. What are you talking about? Resetting our world? That's insane. You couldn't.
Well,
All
the
right,
problem
so
is,
the point of the story is all of this fucking happened.
did we lose Midget?
Seems like it.
The feds
He got
got him.
got.
The feds got him.
Yep. He got it, dude. He was speaking too much truth. Machine gunning too many red pills. They got him.
Okay, you gotta listen to me. There's a machine called Samaritan. It's coming.
Oh no, they got Seawall too. Oh no. All right, well, we might have to move on.
Hello, fellow citizen.
Hello, fellow citizen. How many guns do you own?
I'm sorry, you guys. Anyway,
Yep. We'll wrap it up again on
internet
the
is
funny.
fucky.
Yep.
So yeah, the point is this happened under everyone's noses, and the list has been released. This is a good long fucking story. This is a good fucking story right here. It's detailed.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
if
pretty
you
dense.
can, yeah, if you
I'll
can
drop
get
this
through
on the
that
cutting.
shit.
I'm gonna drop this on the cutting room floor for our audience to check out after the show.
Yeah, but the point is the list has been released. The list itself, and yeah, these names: J.P. Morgan,
Yeah.
Gag, yeah, and it looks like after the release of the list, you can't report about it in the mainstream. No one is. It's gone dark in the mainstream. Then no one's being. This is not being reported anywhere. Where are the list of names? Fucking like, there's some of them in here.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Let's not dig too much into it since Susan is watching.
Jesus Christ! But I encourage our fucking audience to do so because the collapse has basically happened.
Yeah.
We financed it.
Yeah.
We financed it unwittingly. We financed that shit.
Right. So this kind of stuff, I recommend everyone go and join the Discord, because you'll find this on the cutting room floor. Like you find this and all kinds of other, whatever kind of citations you need.
Yeah, we'll put them in this
and
show
we'll gladly
suggestion.
share them.
Yeah.
Not show suggestions. We get some stuff, but I'm saying cutting room floor is where we want to put stuff. Maybe we'll make a citations, please.
Yeah, where we
that.
can just pile all of the shit that we can put together.
Yep.
Yeah, or just call it receipts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Receipts. Yep.
Yeah, receipts.
So, well, kind of going from heavy to funny. Let's go to funny now.
Yeah.
All right.
In the night
Or
out.
fucking nightmare fuel. Forgot this was the first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
Jesus,
hairy
man.
chested
Yeah,
lady.
this is gonna fuel my nightmares. I'm gonna take
Especially
more melatonin.
No, don't do it. Melatonin will fuck your dreams. Fortunately,
I
my
see.
subconscious is already a dumpster fire, so throwing an extra gallon of gas on it, I don't notice. But if you have normal dreams, melatonin will fuck you up.
Yeah.
I don't have dreams. I just fucking sleep.
Got it.
He's an NPC,
Sleep, bro.
dude. Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
I rarely remember my dreams. I
Don't
get a
dream.
general vague feeling of discomfort. And that's about it.
Huh.
Occasionally images, but they fade quick, so.
Let me
What
tell you
weird.
something about LGBTQ rights, about trans rights. This is only going in one direction. You will respect us.
Or what?
You can be upset. You can be angry.
What
can
will you
think
do
it's
to force us
unfair.
to respect you?
You can feel like we're stealing something from you.
Well, you can't
But
steal
it's
my
still
respect.
only going in one direction. You will respect us.
Or what?
Or what?
Let me tell you.
I don't see this as being anything more than a fad. Stuff like this
Yeah.
anyway. Like genuine
Well, it's
fucking
just like-
dysphoria is like we've already had this discussion, but
Yeah.
Right.
I can't believe that these people really think that progress only goes in one direction, that these views will be the norm forever.
Right. That
Well,
is
again,
progress.
as I
Everything
warned
else
the
is not
left,
progress.
you guys have made the tools that if the authoritarian right gets in power, you're gone. You never existed.
They don't have the fucking they don't have the perspective to comprehend that fucking thought.
And
Well, for sure. Well, because they're correct, right?
Yeah.
They're right. So they're on the right side of history. So they're going to win the fight because the good guys win.
The
right?
Germans in the 30s thought they were on the right side of history.
Of course, but they
Mao
weren't.
thought he was on the right side of
But of
history.
course, we
The
are though,
Imperial
right?
Japanese thought they were
They're
on the right
not.
side of history.
Well, they thought that, but they weren't. But we are right,
Yeah.
right? So you're using logic in a place where it has no business. There's no need for logic
Yeah.
when it comes to that. It's just a group like
Yeah,
a
it has no
psychosis for him.
standing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's group consensus. It's very feminine. It's
yes,
consensus based.
As highly put it, points the quad 20 mil at that thing. How are you going to make me respect you?
right. Yeah, respect is earned. It is
Yeah.
not given. You will respect me. No, no.
No.
As soon as you say you will do so, I'm not going to do that
Respect
thing.
my authority. That's his.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's
Move on.
step back for a second and just listen to what it's saying to us here. It's
Yeah.
he's saying you collectively will
Right.
respect us collectively. He's implying that as time marches on, more and more laws will be enacted to make us make
Well-
us collectively respect them
Well,
collectively.
I mean,
That's
if
actually probably
dr-
true,
well,
yeah.
I mean, if laws were so effective, there wouldn't be a drug war. There wouldn't be there wouldn't be drug. Okay, if laws were effective, there would be no murder. There would be no drug use.
hmm Sounds like you're making a kind of libertarian argument there. See, well, you might want to calm
Well,
down.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not. What I'm saying is laws aren't
True.
100% effective. Laws
course
do
not, yeah.
deter.
Well,
For
laws
example, if
are
you do have,
reactive
if you have a law
rather
against
than
murder saying,
proactive.
hey, if you murder somebody, you yourself are either going to be in
Right.
jail for the rest of your life or you're going to be murdered yourself by the state. That can get people to go, nope, I'm pulling back from that.
Right, of course, yeah.
Yeah, a threat does work. That's
Well,
why
of course,
spanking.
no one argues that threats don't work. Of
Yeah.
course, threats work.
Yeah,
Right.
the thing is,
Of course.
this is not even a veiled threat because what's the threat?
Well, yeah, well, this is kind of a veiled threat. The only thing
But
they don't say is or else, right? You will respect this or else. Like, that's
Well,
not.
Yeah,
what's
it's
the or
implied.
else?
But
What's the
it's
or else?
implied.
Yeah, because the thing is,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. What's the or
I
else?
mean,
Or what?
you
Like,
guys
or
take
why
out
not?
40% of yourselves on your own without
Jesus.
any of our input. 40% of you take yourselves out.
No, they attempt to.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, some small percent of them are actually successful. But then they go on to repeat attempt at about
Right.
73%, if I'm not mistaken. So,
isn't that also a similar percentage to those with body integrity disorder, where they want a limb amputated because they believe it's not theirs, or it's not meant to be part of their
yeah,
body?
it's kind of strange. Yeah,
Right,
there's a
but I
lot
think it's
of...
even more rare, in fact.
And isn't body integrity disorder affect about the same percentage of the population as this, and also has a
I
similar
think it's actually
suicide
less.
rate
I think it's less.
when untreated?
Oh, don't you know, like, half the population is trans? They just don't fucking know it.
Right. Just give me an
Well-
hour with them. I'll convince them. I mean, I'll
Right.
I'll let them, explore their own selves
Well,
and
That's
see.
right.
Moving
We'll
on,
see.
so we
Yeah,
don't have to
background.
hold the show too long. Gentlemen, let's watch this funny little clip from Russian Badger.
Short ribs, long ribs, wings, the flesh of federal officers, everything gets grilled.
You
Wouldn't
can
want to eat
grill
it, but that does sound like it might be,
Yep.
a thing.
Does napalm count as frying or grilling?
I
Searing.
believe that would be frying,
No, it'd be
searing,
searing. You're searing the meat.
yeah.
Yep.
Is
Moving
it
along.
flambe?
Moving along.
This one is kind of funny.
Yeah. Here comes our copyright. Killing it with those rifles. Hell yeah.
Yep. So this might get muted later, but hey.
We sang it, so everyone should know if they watch it after the fact.
Oh yeah. Well, everything gets muted when the stream has to mute for stuff like this.
Right.
We lose all audio.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yep.
Fuck, Taco Bell's the shit, dude. Fuck anybody who says otherwise. Taco Bell's amazing.
I mean, it'll give you the shits if you're not careful, but it's tasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Look,
not meant to be like.
for quick, especially I've heard this whole story for quick drunk food. It's some of the
Oh,
best.
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know,
maybe something like a Del Taco might be better, but like
yeah,
not by much.
yeah.
Not by much.
Well, also Del Taco is clearly the poser in this.
Nah, dude, Del
Yeah,
Taco is fucking dank. Dude, Del
it is
Taco
really
is
good.
good as fuck.
It is
Oh
really good,
man, I
but it's
love
not
Del
like.
Taco. God
It's been a
damn.
long time since I've been to Del Taco, which is, I've just not been
Yeah, I
around a
Yeah,
don't
lot of
even
dude,
Del
know
it's
where.
Tacos in my
fucking
life.
good.
I think the closest one to me is like 3 towns away.
It really is.
I'll,
There's only
I'll skip
fucking
it.
one, yeah.
Yeah, there's like that one,
I guess the Porch Boys got to meet up there one of these days.
dude. Oh
That
no,
would
no,
be
if
the
we
place.
come to Florida, no, we should go to Moe's. Gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
So,
that's
most is
Florida.
better.
well,
Moe's is so
I
fucking
guess
good.
moving along to the next one.
Or if not Moe's, Tijuana Flats would be the other one.
So.
I think
Straight
that's a
Florida thing.
strictly Florida thing,
This
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've got some special sound effects for the second playthrough of this.
Okay? It is possible. Please right now uncuck your dumb shit libcuck fucking SJW brains and recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about to spit. It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible. Okay? It is possible. Please right now uncuck your dumb shit libcuck fucking SJW brains and recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about to spit. It is possible for an adult and a child
You hear that?
to have a sexual relationship.
Noise
Wood
in the
chipper
background?
started up.
Yep, I got it started up. John, you grab the arm. Midget, get the legs.
Can we throw him in sideways?
No, throw him in feet first, dude. Feet first.
Yeah. Start picking him up with the legs.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky to pick a guy up by one arm, one leg each.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially when he's struggling.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Well, I mean, we could always just throw a copy of the Communist Manifesto into it, and he'll probably dive after it.
Oh, that's true. By the
Nah,
way,
dude,
speaking
you should use UK government money. Toss that in there. He'll be all over it.
Like,
Seriously?
yeah.
Vouch fetishizes the pound?
No, he loves to get pounded by fucking federal messaging. Yeah, he loves to fucking pound his goddamn audience with propaganda. Paid for, literally. Propaganda.
I mean, at this point, isn't he just black
Yeah.
propaganda? Because he's just
Pretty much.
batshit insane. I can't imagine
think
he's
he's like-
convincing anyone.
You think his following is just like astroturfed? You think that like maybe he's controlled up, like he's
I don't think his
just
following is AstroTurf. I think his success is AstroTurf.
Yeah.
I don't think that his following is, because I mean those people exist. A lot
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, it's also a great way to kind of consolidate them in one place.
yeah. And
And then
you
you
know,
have
direct them toward
yeah.
pedophilia.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and thus make them completely undesirable by the rest of society. I mean, okay, by his
Hey,
logic,
you know what?
I'm not gonna steal Mana's argument or play devil's advocate. I'm saying that using his logic, it is possible
I suppose
that
there's
a
like a
Japanese
1%.
supermodel will be knocking at my front door and ask me to marry her in
I
5
think it's
minutes.
equally likely.
Yeah,
It is possible.
It is
yeah.
entirely possible,
It is not impossible.
but it's not probable.
Uncuck your SJW libcuck brain.
Yeah, dude. God, uncuck it.
Like for example, it's entirely possible that that a representative from fucking Ireland comes out and asks John to become the king of Ireland. You know,
That would suck. I
Oh,
wouldn't-
yeah, you know, Mr. John, sir, as it turns out,
or
you
distantly related to the crown of Ireland.
and everyone else is dead, so
You
it's,
want it?
you know, it's you or Larry from the gas station, so...
Right. No, then I'm definitely picking me. That dude doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Fuck Larry.
How to
Yeah.
go about governance, good governance.
And then it's entirely possible for for Mijjt to have for Mijjt to find $1 billion in gold. Just walk in the cat one day.
Yeah.
Just
I
on the
think
side
it's
of the road.
I think it's more likely than Vosh's proposition.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly. Our propositions are infinitely more likely than his.
Yeah.
So.
I might come across like a big stack of silver though.
What was it? 30 pieces of silver? You took
No.
those?
I collect bullion.
Well, here's another one meant to make me cringe a little bit.
Now this is not photoshopped.
This is very much real. Motherfucker removed the cooler on what I'm presuming is a high-end graphics card. And is now using the GPU to cook sandwich ham. The fuck's wrong with you?
Feel it.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
No wonder you spring for the extra.
Highly if it's entirely possible that you'll join a Jinro Wolf Brigade unit in real life.
It's possible.
It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible.
Yep. So, here's something I just found fun to watch. You're just having
Absolutely.
fun, you know. Just turn off the notice sensors for a while and just vibe.
Yep. Chilling, that dude.
Yep. So
Hell
It
yeah.
only happens. It only happens. It only helps if there's no global homo involved in the Dance game.
I guess so.
damn it, Mijjt, you had to ruin it.
I always do, man. That's my thing.
Well, this was more. Well, this is more of a what the fuck, not a bad what the fuck, just what the fuck.
It is a what the fuck is
It is.
right. It
Yeah.
fucking is.
This Midget trying to get his cat back inside.
When it wants to walk longer.
Yeah, when he wants to walk longer. This
Right.
is my fucking cat. That's for sure. He flops on the floor and he flops on the ground and
I'm
makes
going
it
to
so I
watch that
can't pick
again
him up.
because damn.
Yeah. And just there's police after her. Presumably after her, I guess. I don't know. Or that person. I don't know if it's male or female.
J. Edgar, it's entirely possible that Tim Pool contacts you and asks you to be on a show.
Yeah, it's entirely possible, dude. It's actually probably the most likely out of all the ones that have been said, because at least
Yeah.
he's in the right field, podcasting. So could happen.
Fucking lion.
Yeah. Just
He's
Is that a
pissed
lion?
off.
I think
yeah.
it's a she actually.
Yeah.
But
there's
it's
no
also
mane.
fairly young, so it could be a male lion.
Maybe.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know, sorry, but
If it's small enough, you can carry it. If a woman, a short woman can carry it, it's less than 100 pounds.
yep.
Fucking wrestling with you that whole
Yeah.
time too.
I like
I like
this one.
Yeah.
Hey, is that legal? Those level 4 plates? Yeah, we need to know. Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard.
Hey, is that legal? Those level 4 plates? Yeah, we need to know. Okay.
He's asking, are those level 4 plates?
Yeah. He says, is that legal?
That you're
He says,
wearing
"Those
there,
level
Fed
four
boy.
Yeah.
You're wearing level 4s there, Fed boy.
Yeah.
What's up, Fed boy?
Yep. And then this one.
Yeah,
Armor stuff.
Armor piercing rounds can be bad for your health.
Yep.
You want to avoid them, Mr. Fedman.
Usually
If you
good
got a
advice,
family wants to be getting home.
As J. Edgar's putting it, it's entirely possible that Ashley Tisdale leaves Chris French and develops a thing for a long-haired newscaster.
Entirely possible.
We can hope. I'll pray.
Also, gentlemen,
Thank
I
you.
present the Inverse Weeb.
The Inverse Weeb.
I love that classy one has a guy holding
Yeah.
one.
Well, that's what you do with the what's it called? The like super long katana.
Yeah.
Nodachi.
Wakizashi?
The Nodachi.
Yeah,
No,
you
the
have your
no,
fucking-
Dachi, my bad.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have your fucking attendant
Give it-
carry
yeah.
that shit for you.
Right, and you draw it from while he's moving his teeth. Like you draw it from him, because you have to like, just like be able to cut through a
But
horse
as I
and
said,
shit.
the inverse weave.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, they're all getting shot, dude. Oh, like they have lepers too.
Yes,
So
they
cute.
do. It's actually pretty common. I feel like that's pretty common in Japan.
Of course.
In comparison, there's a lot of unique culture in Japan.
It's
So-
a big fucking country.
Yep. They're also based as shit.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
So,
Yeah, look out for them.
yep.
Dangerously based.
But necessarily based.
North Korea launches suspected missile.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the
Korea.
LA. Yeah, look at best Korea. Right.
Korea.
North Korea.
Well, I've already gotten us back to the chatting screen, so John can play us out. Johnny, play us out.
Patton
All right.
Oswalt explains himself after nice Dave Chappelle post goes
Oh, yeah.
sideways. It went sideways.
Right. He got dragged because he took a
He
picture
got
of
dragged.
himself.
'cause it went
It
sideways.
became a movie about the wine industry in the 70s?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got it mixed up. That's Bottle Shock.
I don't think so. Yeah, they were just like they just did a show together.
Yeah.
They did
How
like a
embarrassing.
comedy show. Like a comedy show. That was it. That's
Also,
all
from what
that
I've
happened.
heard, people-
He had to apologize for associating with him.
When
Thing
he's
that I've
been like he suffers so heavily from TDS.
Oh,
Like
God,
he should
it's-
like get a lifelong
it's-
pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Look,
fuck that
look,
faggot. Fuck that guy.
Look,
Patton
Patton-
Oswalt, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you ever hear this, Patton Oswalt, fuck you, you fat midget, you child molesting. God damn.
Hey, careful with the terms.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. What
You
happened?
human
We
trafficking.
don't have time to do it. Yeah, we don't have time to talk about it on the air.
John, I'm pulling the ripcord. Get us the fuck out of here.
Oh,
shoe
right.
wearing.
If
Go,
you
go, go,
liked
go.
What you heard tonight, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that little bell notification thing. Make sure you check out our description to see all of our stuff. We got our Twitter there. We got our Discord server. We got our Buy Me a Coffee. So yeah, you want to go do that? That would be awesome. And we will see you guys next week with guest Leger.
JF. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
gonna be joining
Jean-Francois.
Yes, on Francois. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I think that's cool that you got him to join us. I think I look forward to that. That's pretty
Miracle
fucking
worker,
cool.
man. I'm getting all these high profile people.
Dope.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we will see you guys next week with Les JF. See you guys.
See y'all later.
Good night.
Thank you.